unite the like-minded of us, whether we are Christians or Muslims or nationalists or agnostics or socialists. If we are like-minded on reparations and on justice for our people, we are brothers indeed. But a black face ain't gonna make you no brother today. Go ahead. We tired of these black-faced, white-hearted niggas. Go ahead, say that. Masquerading as though you love your people. We see you.
Let's go. All right, we're on the Liberation Minded Media. Straight Dizzle, the B1, the Truth Bomber, the B1 Truth Bomber, and there's a lot of different things I want to get into, but let's start off with something semi-light. There are some stories I want to get into. I don't think people are covering. Maybe they'll cover them later. And plus, because we are in, in a election in politics, and as FBA family trying to get more sophisticated with our strategy, I want to just make sure that, we really run through all the little different situations and what, no matter who you're going to choose, right, or not choose, make sure you do it the right way. Make sure that you are fully informed and not in an echo chamber that's just regurgitating talking points that have no facts. But anyway, before we get to that, let's go ahead and get to something a little bit more light, man. Let's go.
Talking about y'all Uncle Sean Carter. So y'all Auntie Jaguar Wright then made it onto Piers Morgan. And she's talking about y'all Uncle Sean Carter and y'all saying them. And I don't often sit with the fact of if I believe Jaguar or not, because I personally think that reality is oftentimes more stranger than fiction. It's just the theatrics of it all and how she says things that just be like, ma'am. And also like how you know something about every single thing. Now I get being in the industry, being around, but like everything? Oh, Lord.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
Yes! Yes, of course. Of course. Everybody knows him. It's in your face. Did he? Hello? It's a question in his name. Did he? And the answer is yes. Yes. But let me ask you, how does everybody get the muffin, but nobody sees the man? Somebody's got to know. Mickey Mouse was fucking his sister. It's his sister. That's sick. Ben and Jerry, Eminem, Haagen-Dazs, they all working together.
Think about the series finale of Moesha. What happened to Miles? Jay-Z kidnapped Miles from Moesha. We have not seen that little boy in years. And where do you think Jimmy Hoffa's body is? Who do you think has it? And Diddy got her pregnant. Jay-Z had Farrah's luggage. Why you think the song was crying? Yo, I was in the back seat when Tupac got shot. I was in the back seat. The windows were tinted. Y'all couldn't see me. I was back there. The diddler did it. Judy from Family Matters. Diddy took her. Liza Minnelli was supposed to play Dina in Dreamgirls. And guess who made a phone call? Under my umbrella, Ella. All these hurricanes, who do you think is controlling the weather machine? Think about the series finale of Moesha.
All right, that's a little bit of levity, but I don't really want to get too much into gossip, just gossiping about celebrities, this and that. But this is a topic that a lot of people are talking about. It does have implications that are even more detrimental than just, your favorite celebrity under fire or whatever the case may be. Because I think with this, especially with this Diddy situation, it's really showing something more so than just Diddy. Listen, I think Diddy is probably a piece of shit as a person. I believe Diddy probably had something to do with, or at least was motivated to eliminate Tupac. I believe that. So I'm not going to cape for Diddy. I am going to say this, though. Let's be real. one thing that we always see, especially when it comes to these SCX crimes and painting sexual deviance with a black face. That's something I do not like. I don't know if Diddy was with minors. I don't think he was into children. I don't even think there was a lot of non-consensual things going on at his party. I don't think that the nature of his parties, even his freak-offs, I don't think the nature of them, I don't know because I wasn't there. I don't know them. But I just don't believe the nature of them would be or have to be non-consensual in nature. Because, I mean, come on, man. We're talking about Diddy in the 90s and the early 2000s. They would line up. Diddy was popping. The rap game was popping. Any of these celebrity rappers, it was popping. They would have their choice. They would have to beat women off them. So I don't think that they would have to go the route of non-consensual, is what I'm saying. So even though I think he is a piece of trash and probably deserving of a long prison sentence, it's just the same, it's the same play. They always try to put the black man face to represent sexual deviancy. They did it with the, Michael Jackson. They did it with the R. Kelly. They did it with the Bill Cosby. Over and over and over. Chris Brown, he had his little problem with Rihanna. They ain't let that go. But we've seen plenty, and I'm not saying just because like one race gets away with it, we should too as a race. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like you can't deny and ignore the intentional propaganda to keep, a certain light or narrative associated with black men and black people by default, by association after that. And that's something we're going to get into a little bit later with the mayor of Chicago. But when it comes to Jaguar Wright specifically, here's what I would say about that. Here's my personal take on Jaguar Wright. I don't think everything she says is false. I'm pretty sure generally some of the things she's saying is true. Yes, there's a lot of homosexuality down low in Hollywood, a lot of freakish activities, a lot of drug usage, a lot of degenerate behavior goes on in Hollywood. We know this. About specific details of specific incidents, I don't know how she would have those unless she was present. And that's the thing, like, what is her true motivation is what I would ask. And why is it that a lot of times when these people so-called become whistleblowers, especially against black celebrities, why is it they're always doing this when their career has failed and they're trying to revamp it, or they tried to revamp it and that has failed? So she has all these details. I watched some of that Piers Morgan interview that she did, and some of the things she was saying just didn't add up because she was like, she has text messages proving that Beyonce had something to do with, Aaliyah's death. She has footage. She said she has film footage, real evidence of crimes that have happened over the, decades. And it's like, okay, so that means you had to be there when it was happening. You had to be complicit to some degree because you didn't try to stop it. And you didn't turn any of this evidence. You just collected all this evidence, but you didn't give any to the authorities so that this could have happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, if your true desire is to help those who have been victimized, why are you waiting 20, 30 years after your career is no longer, generating income? It's just kind of sus to me. It's just a little sketchy to me. And it's like you're using yourself. She's using herself to be a tool to try to bring down the image, because this isn't just about Puffy. It never is just about Diddy or whatever the celebrity that they're attacking, that they're undermining, that they're suing, that they're trying to prosecute and taint the legacy of. It's not just about them individually. It also represents them attacking all of us to some degree, painting all of us a certain way, promoting a narrative that is detrimental to all of our character. I'm not saying you got to be, you know what I'm saying, riding with Diddy and free Diddy. I'm sure Diddy is guilty of plenty of things that could put him in prison. I'm sure of that. I mean, I would wager on that fact. But we still got to be mindful to some degree with regurgitating this narrative, signal boosting this narrative, because when we do that, we give permission to the powers that be to attack more of us and all of us, and they're gonna cast a broad net. They're gonna cast a broad net. They're gonna associate things that maybe not true. They're gonna prosecute and come after us in a way that they don't against anyone else. So just because of that, there has to be some codification that we acknowledge to the point to where we don't give them extra ammo that they're going to use against the broader community. We don't validate what they do just because it's someone we don't like or because we've heard rumors. And now everybody's saying Jay-Z, he's next, and Beyonce, and they're eating babies, and let's not do that. Let's not do that for several reasons. Let's not entertain the idea that because someone has made it, they had to do something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't do that with who's that girl? Taylor Swift, right? They don't say, oh, well, you know, she's a billionaire. She's made it from a poor Tennessee, poor white trash from Tennessee to, you know, being successful. They don't say that, oh, she had to sell her soul. She had to suck dick to get there. Oh, she worships the devil. Oh, she sacrificed. She's part of this Illuminati. They don't say that. They say she worked hard and she's just a good, wholesome girl that made it. But every time, every one of us, and a lot of us participate in this, we believe that anyone who has truly made it, we can't fathom the idea that Jay-Z went from a Brooklyn project to a multi-billionaire, because that's impossible. Like, it really is. Making $1 billion is almost impossible if you're going to be real about it. Like just the amount of people that will ever be able to do it, even from a millionaire to a billionaire, is pretty much an impossible task. It's not a probable task. It's not something. It's not something that just anyone can do. It's not even something that would be fathomable. It's not even like a goal that most people would even have, because the chances of being successful are so low. I'm talking about just taking $1 million to $1 billion. The chances of doing that is so low that it almost seems like it's impossible. But if we accept some type of narrative that any of us that made it had to either be, you know, working with the enemies, they have to be evil, they have to have cheated the game, they have to be part of some club that, you know what I'm saying, they have to be doing some very nefarious activities. It never can be because of their talent and their grind. They have to have sold their soul. Then what we're saying is we don't really believe in a divine power. We don't really believe that we are gods, or that God is with us, or that God exists and can assist. It's like we're saying we really don't believe that. What we're really saying subconsciously is that only the devil can bless people. When every time there's a storm, there's a hurricane, and shout out to the victims of Hurricane Helen, and I hope they're safe, and all my folk in NC and Florida and Georgia and all throughout the path of these hurricanes. Stay safe. I wish you well. And I spoke to some people and they're doing good. But when we sit up here and we act like every hurricane has to be heart, like nature doesn't create hurricanes anymore, it's just heart. What we're saying is that we're saying that the white man is God. That's, you know what I'm saying? So subconsciously, you start to operate by default on the premise that they are God and we can't be successful unless we sell our souls to them, because there is no innate, like we can't say that we're just great and we're so innovative and we have all these skills in the FBA, we're special and we have Majora spirit, and still at the same time believe that anyone who makes it has to have made it by doing immoral acts or making a covenant with evil. There has to be a divine power and energy in this earth that can sustain us and that we can build off of. That we could actually, use and tap into, like our ancestors. But anyway, back to the Jaguar white, man. So when it comes to a Jaguar white, right, in this whole situation, it's not that I don't think anything that she says is true. I'm sure a lot of what she says is true. But I would have to think that she may have to be guilty herself to know all of this and have held all of this for decades and only bring it out when her career revamp doesn't go right. Like, you have text messages. She says she has videos. I think she's clout chasing. I think she is crazy. Or Orlando, for those who that Orlando do, I forgot his last name. And he says a lot of wild shit too, you know what I'm saying? He looks like he's high all the time. He's always just saying crazy shit. And look, a broken clock is right twice a day. But I'm not going to rely on that clock to tell time. And in regards to Orlando, I personally know he's a nutcase. I had a homie, a comrade, whose sister was roommates with him in Las Vegas. And he was high. He was doing the most, where I had to send people down there to coordinate with some other people I have already there to resolve a situation and get him out the house. So I know he's out of his fucking mind. Doesn't mean everything he says isn't true, but it just means, like, let's take it with a grain of salt. Let's not use these type of individuals to validate why we're going to shit on icons, even if they deserve it. Like, we don't have to shit on them. We can stay on code and just, let's just, kind of stay out of it a little bit, because anything that we do to support the crucifixion of one of ours, they're going to broaden that to the rest of us in due time. They're going to use that to devalue all of us. There's a psychological strategy when they go after our icons. And the idea is, if we can take them down, you guys are nothing. If we can knock down your icons and pillars, what are the rest of you? And if you're going to assist us in doing it, well, when we're done doing that, we're coming after the rest of you too. So I'm not saying that we have to be riding for Diddy. That's the last thing I'm going to say to do. I'm just saying, let's be careful, not just with Diddy, but anytime we see an effort by the media, by law enforcement, by Hollywood, anytime we see them turn on one of ours, we should sit back and peep game and not contribute and justify what they're doing. Like, that shouldn't be our first impulsive move that we do. Because because think about this. Remember when all those Jewish people in New York, and I think I covered this. I think the only other person that really covered this was Doggy Diamonds. Remember when that situation with those tunnels, those underground tunnels in New York, ran by those Jewish people, and they had underground tunnels. They had mattresses with baby clothes. The mattresses had blood on them with baby clothes in the background. It was just weird. All kind of weirdness going on. And it just, their excuse for why they had these underground tunnels with beds and looked like torture chambers just about. But it didn't last on the news, right? a couple times on the news. Nobody really picked it up. It didn't really get big, but you didn't hear, as egregious as the things that it appeared that they were doing with those tunnels, you didn't hear Jewish people on social media calling out their own. If a Chinese spy gets caught doing the most, plotting against America, and he gets arrested, you're not going to see a bunch of Chinese people on social media or on the news, you know what I'm saying, egging that on, saluting that, validating that. You're not going to see that. So I think we got to learn how to reserve some of our vitriol for our own when they're being under attack. Like, just to be on code, maybe we just step back. Maybe we make sure that we broadcast their shenanigans, their degeneracy. Whatever happened to that dude that was on the 70s show, Masterson? He you know what I'm saying? He violated all kinds of women, but that story didn't really get big. He was on a hit TV show that was hit TV show for a decade or more. They kind of swept that under the rug. They stayed low with that. So just understand the game. That's all I'm saying. Just peep the game, because the game is always to undermine us, to paint a certain type of narrative of us, because once they can do that, they start with these big names. But the implication is, well, if somebody is, you know what I'm saying, high value as a Diddy could be this degenerate and, you know what I'm saying, a victimizer, then what about the rest of these niggas? And then with that type of framing, it's easier for them to deny us justice, and it's easier for them to detach us from other people having empathy. The same kind of principles when, you know, one of ours is killed, and the first thing they do is they want to run that person's background check and check them for drugs in their system and stuff. So that way, if they find it, they could say, well, it's justified. Look at, he had some PCP, he had some cocaine, traces of cocaine. Oh, look at these text messages that he sent. Oh, look at this guy. He was arrested 2 years ago for blah, blah, blah. So now the idea is like, okay, well, then they don't really matter. It's kind of like what they're doing to the Palestinians right now, what the Jewish people are doing to the Palestinians. They're dehumanizing them to the point where nobody cares that there's killing tens of thousands. The first level of that conflict was to dehumanize them, devalue them, paint a narrative to them that nobody cares about their loss. Anyway, that's that, man. Let me get to some other shit, man. This is something that was pretty interesting that I think we need to Black MAGA. Let me say this to my Black MAGA, to my Blacks for Trump. I know we're delineating right now, right? I know that I understand the importance. I just had a conversation with my lady last night about politics and the importance of, you know, being sophisticated when it comes to politics. And the fact that, you know, Black people are starting to delineate from the Democratic Party, which I think is a good thing. I'll be honest. I think that's a good thing, because we've been supporting the Democrats without any kind of, you know what I'm saying? We haven't been getting anything for the support that we've been blindly giving them, unconditionally giving them support for the past 60 years. We ain't really got nothing to show for it, specifically for us. So I'm glad that our people are starting to, you know, pull back from just supporting these Democrats. And they are considering different options like Republicans. That's a good thing. But I think it's just as dangerous. Like if you're just going to jump to the Republicans and they haven't even offered us anything, they ain't even talked nice to us, they haven't, you know, saying show that they're going to do any specific things for us, then all we're doing is set ourselves from jumping from one plantation to the other. And like I've said before, listen, whatever reasons you may have to support Trump, to support the Democrats, to vote Republican, whatever reason you have to do that is not the same as these maggots, as these alt-right, as the vast majority of Republican voters. Your reason and their reason is different. Okay? When they hear MAGA, what MAGA means to them is let's go back to a time where black people didn't have rights. That's what Make America Great means to them. So I get it. I get it. There are some things that the Republican Party may, optically stands for that would be more beneficial as far as the immigration policies. They don't really push the rainbow policies like that. That's cool. We understand that in the short term, maybe a Kamala Harris administration might be, it might help us out in the short term more than a Trump second term would. But in the long term, if we continue to validate them as a party without them giving us anything directly, then it sets us up for the precedence of us just supporting them, and that we'll support them for nothing. So delineating from them is a very important thing. But when you start thinking you're one of them and you put yourself in these kind of situations because you don't understand that your reason for supporting the Republican Party is a lot different than theirs. What MAGA means to them is a lot different than what it might mean to you. Your reasons for not liking Kamala Harris and not supporting Kamala Harris is not the same as theirs. Understand that. They don't support Kamala Harris because she is not a man and she is not white. So we could say, oh, she ain't really black. Okay, that's cool. To them, she's black enough. Understand that. So the legitimate reasons that we have not to support Kamala Harris, all I'm saying is that's not the reason that they don't support him. That's not the reason they didn't like Barack Obama. They didn't like Barack Obama because he didn't look like them. Because he looked like what it could look like if black people start getting, politically sophisticated and elevated and empowered. That's how they seen it. We know that he didn't do nothing for us. That ain't the point. They know that too. But just the optics of someone standing behind that seal that doesn't look like them was enough for them to say, fuck Barack Obama. Because after all, policy-wise, what did he do that was so different than Bush? So now you got this cat being attacked at a MAGA rally, and I'm just like, what did you really think, man? Like, why would you show up to some event being one of 100, being probably one of the only black people there, and you thought you was going to be safe there because you thought that they're going to look at you as one of them? No, they'll take your vote. They like to be able to say, hey, we're not racist and black people. Yeah, vote too, because they want, they want their dude to win. But they don't remember. Don't forget, when Trump first started running, his rhetoric was violence against us. Listen, I'm not saying don't vote for him. I'm not saying support who you want to support, but make sure you can just stand on the business of who you're supporting. And don't tell me a bunch of lies that you heard somebody say because it sounds good. At least don't be in the echo chamber of having to deny facts. If you have a strategic reason to support him, so be it. Stand on business with that. I'm not even against that. I'm not even saying that you shouldn't do that. I understand from a strategic point of view, it may be better for us to go Republican on this particular election cycle. I personally think that we should really just vote the couch. But even in voting the couch, there's a way strategically to do that. You still want to vote locally for two reasons. You want to vote locally because that's going to have a direct impact on your community, more so than a federal election. So you want to vote locally for that reason, but you also want to vote locally because if you just don't vote at all, it's like they don't really miss it because it's like, okay, well, this was a population of people that ain't voting anyway. I don't mean black people. I mean anyone who's not voting. You're just not going to register when they go and they run the numbers afterwards. But if you do vote locally, but you leave that national, you don't vote nationally, you leave that blank, then what that indicates is, hey, people who are voting, look at this. There's millions of people who actually voted locally who they didn't want to even participate in the general election. Damn. Now that lets them know, well, there's obviously a reason why these people, they're obviously politically engaged, but they didn't vote on the top of the ticket. You know what I'm saying? Now you give leverage because now both parties have to figure out how can they get that particular group of votes. The ones that they voted locally, but intentionally didn't vote on the top of the ticket. So even if you're going to vote the couch, I would suggest you still vote locally. Still vote locally. Just leave the top of the ticket alone. And if you're going to vote for Trump, then do your thing. I'm not going to tell you not to. Just don't think that you're MAGA. Just don't do it because you have to stay in the echo chamber of them lying about these great things about him. Like, understand that he's a piece of shit. Listen, we got both parties, both candidates are trash. Let's just be real about it. They're both corporate, right? They're both corporate. They both are going to do what their corporate donors do. They're going to do that. They're both going to back Israel. To be real, the immigration policies really ain't that different. The optics and the rhetoric is, but if we're going to be real, even on the immigration, they're not that far apart on their immigration policies, man. They're not. They both do identity politics, both sides. So the same way Kamala's running that game on us, like she's black and she's going to bring these hip hop artists and she's going to, you better think, you don't remember? And all that shit, you know what I'm saying? She tries to turn up her blackness and cosplay, which is hella disrespectful. But the same way she does that to cater to the minority or the black vote, they do the same thing over there. They act like they appeal to the poor white trash, who they don't give a fuck about any more than Kamala gives a fuck about us. So identity politics, they both play it. They just do it to different sides. See, the reason why a lot of these Republican voters don't like even Biden, they didn't like Biden. Why didn't they like Biden? Like, we don't like Biden either. I get it. We know he's a racist. I get it. But so do they. Like, they're not under the illusion that Joe Biden is not a racist like them. They know he is. But he's just not, you know what I'm saying, standing on business the way they want him to. They know he's about white supremacy and he's never going to let that die. But just the idea that he would still have a black running mate or a colored running mate just to appease us, that's too much for them. Even though they know he's not going to do anything for us, just the idea that he would appease us by having a Kamala Harris as a running mate is enough to turn them off. Just the idea that he pretends that he backs the Black Lives Matter and, you know, equality. That's enough for them because his policies are totally different, but that's enough for them. It'd be like us if we had the choice between having an unapologetic FBA or someone who, you know, he's still about black empowerment, but, you know, maybe they don't talk as harshly. Maybe their rhetoric isn't as sharp. He might be just as down with the cause as the one who speaks unapologetically, but, you know, a lot of us would gravitate towards the one who's unapologetic, even if he actually did less than the one who was more smooth and on the low about it. So they're going for their dude based on white supremacy. Let's not get it twisted. They just want to see a good white man in office again. So we may have strategic reasons to back Trump or to back the Republicans. Understand it's not the same reasons that they have. We may have reasons that we criticize and we don't back Kamala. Just understand it's not the same reason that they don't like her. They just don't like her because she doesn't look like them. She's not like us. She's not like us. That's what they're singing over there. She's not like us. She's different. We could say she ain't black. To them, she's black enough. So if that's their mentality, then remember when you take your black ass over there, just because you're rocking MAGA, they still don't like you. I mean, come on. Myron Gaines. Right? dedicated all of his platforms, crashed out, got demonetized, got banned for going straight Nazi against FBA to the point to where they banned him from different platforms. His whole stick is, hey, I'm a black African who hates African Americans. That's his whole stick. Racism doesn't exist. No. You got to work harder. No, white supremacy isn't real. You just have to, you ain't working hard enough. And there's no racism in America. That's his whole stick. But lately, since what you've been seeing is what? Because they don't need him. See, MAGA don't really need this nigga. At this point, they don't even want to pretend that they're down with, you know what I'm saying? The only ones they like are straight self-hating ones. But even the self-hating ones that they like, quote unquote, or tolerate, just by them tolerating that, lets you know how much they don't like us. So they really don't like you. They'll tolerate you only because you might say some things that they can't get away with saying. But when they feel they don't need that anymore, this is what they think about you. Like I said, we got to be more sophisticated. We got to do, we're doing 4D chess. So we're not doing this on an emotional level. We're not making our decisions on an emotional level. So as terrible as this is, what we're seeing, as much as we know the racism in the MAGA Trump crowd exists, if we think that the best play for now is to back Trump regardless, because we have to show the Democrats that we're not going to support them for nothing, and that will give us maybe bargaining power. If that's your strategy, I'm not saying abandon the strategy. I'm just saying don't put yourself in positions where you think now you're rubbing shoulders with these alt-right and they have some type of respect for you because you're the Negro that's not a Democrat. Fuck out of here. That doesn't work. That's not a sustainable career path or stance for you. These black Sambos always get their wake-up call. As Professor Black Truth says, they always break their tools. When they're no longer needed, they break their tools. And they break their tools because they don't care about your intentions as much as your capability. They can't let a Candace Owens get too big. Even if she didn't say what she said about the Jews, eventually they were going to cut her anyway. Because they can't let her get too influential. Even if she intends only to shit on black people, she could always change her attention. So there's only a certain level that they're going to let her get to because her capabilities, they can't allow her capabilities to get too great. Because if she decides to turn on them, that's a weapon that they have forged against themselves. They're not having that. That's how the game is played. They don't care about your intentions. It's about your capability. Nuclear weapons, same strategy, right? They don't care. The reason why they don't want these different countries to have nukes isn't because they think they're gonna nuke us. It's because they'll have the capability to nuke us. They might know that Iran or whatever never really intends on using nuclear weapons against us. It doesn't matter. You just can't have the capability. So the same way, that's the same philosophy of why they clip even their own Sambo coon tethers at one point. And this is something that we've been trying to tell these tethers and these coons. When we see these cats, you know what I'm saying, bootlicking and buck dancing for biscuits. And we try to tell them like, oh, that's not the move. You're really empowering the enemies that's destroyed your homeland and that has, you know, dominated and oppressed us. And you think somehow they're looking at you different. They're not. And they always find out later. So yeah, man, when it comes to this whole election process, just all I'm saying, all I want you to do, folk, all I want you to do is make your decision based on truth and understanding and wisdom and strategy. Don't do it based on emotions. Don't do it based on, making yourself believe bullshit and nonsense. Don't be like these maggots who believe everything Trump says when 99% of what he says is a goddamn lie. He was not, let's just be real. He wasn't successful during his term of president. So what I'm saying is you have to face those types of truths. And if you still decide, which I'm not mad at you if you do, that it'll be better for long range or strategically for Trump to be back in office because, that way we'll show up the Democrats. And that way, if they want our support, they have to show us something and blah, blah, blah. If you think that's the best strategy, do it. Just don't do it on false pretenses because you believe some bullshit. Same thing with Kamala. Don't believe that Kamala is really sister girl down with the black team. She's not. But if you think the thing that she's saying would be better for your life, then whatever. I can't tell you what to do. I still say vote the couch. I think the best way, me personally, I think the best way is if the more FBAs who do not participate, like I said, vote locally and then leave that the top of the ticket open. That way they know that there are engaged voters who just deliberately didn't like the choices at the top. And then that way they know, well, hey, we might have to, do something. And then we can have them bid for our support like everybody else does. We do got to get to that level. So there's that. But there was something else that was going on that was pretty interesting. Let's see. Did we already went through that? What's all the topics we're supposed to be getting into, man? Oh, okay. Let's get into this real quick. This was pretty interesting. Let's get into this. Check this out.
2 members of the San Fernando Valley-based white supremacist street gang, the Peckerwoods. The indictment charges a total of 68 defendants with numerous federal crimes.
And now with this news reporter, Sid Garcia is live at the LAPD's North Hollywood station with the details and video of some of the arrests made today. Sid?
Guys, it was.
So this was a major arrest of a white supremacist gang. But I want you just to pay attention to the subtleties of how they're reporting this and what it implies, right? So this was in somewhere in California. Check this out.
The LAPD, the FBI, the DEA, and other police agencies that took part in the takedown today. As you mentioned, dozens of members of this white supremacist gang were taken down. And according to the feds, they committed more than just hate crimes.
That's your first indication right there. That's the first red flag in chicanery of this arrest and indictments. They did more than just hate crimes. That implies to me that if it was just hate crimes, they probably wouldn't have been scrutinized. They probably wouldn't have been indicted. They probably wouldn't have got a RICO. They probably wouldn't have got arrested. But there's more.
Taking the guns out of the hands of gang members, taking drugs off our streets, increases the safety and reduces the harm that these activities pose to our communities.
The LAPD, FBI, DEA, and other law enforcement agencies announced today that they've taken down dozens of members of the notorious white supremacist gang, the Peckerwoods.
The Peckerwoods. Now, first of all, the fact that this story didn't really make it to the mainstream that's something in itself. That shows you something in itself. Because this would be a good time for the mainstream to be able to be like, see, we're going after white supremacists. We're doing something about, anti-black racism, this and that. But that's not really why they took this group down, for one. And for two, they're not going to do that because that would normalize the criminal mentality of many white people. And they don't want to do that. They want crime to look like black people in Chicago. They want sexual deviance to look like P. Diddy's, everything from a P. Diddy to a Bill Cosby to a Michael Jackson for light-skinned niggas. You know what I'm saying? This is why I'm saying, we got to be on code to not just jump on, the bandwagon of shitting on our people, even when we know they wrong. Diddy's going to have to deal with what he's going to have to deal with going to prison or whatever happens to him. What we shouldn't do, just out of principle, is just immediately jump on every time they say somebody's a bad person, because whatever Diddy was doing, they knew he was doing that for decades. Let's be real. If Diddy was doing the most, they knew that for decades. Just like Arkell's, they knew that for decades. They only hit him up after he stopped making them money. He's no good anymore. Break the tool. But then they keep stuff like this on the low. But let's check it out, though. Let's get into it.
The gang is based out of the San Fernando Valley. 29 federal arrest warrants were served this.
The Peckerwoods, that's interesting. Because I know there's a prison game called the Woodpeckers. Peckerwood, same thing. So I think this is a prison gang. And just for the record, if you ever see a white boy with a Woody Woodpecker tattooed on his arm, that means he's part of this particular clique. Peckerwood, Woody Woodpecker. Get it? All right. And one more thing. Politics, street politics. These white supremacist gangs, they run with, unfortunately, natives. They click in with natives, or natives click in with them, and so do a lot of Hispanic gangs. So don't get it twisted.
This morning, 68 members of the gang were indicted on charges ranging from gun violations to identity theft.
It appears. You see that right there? So they didn't get arrested. This white supremacist gang did not get arrested for hate crimes. They didn't get arrested for anti-black sentiments or actions or harming black people, which I'm sure they did, but that's not what brought them down. The guns and drugs brought them down. Hate wasn't enough. Similar to the Jesse Smollett, when they called it a hate crime when he was doing that bullshit. They only really called it a hate crime because of the homosexual association. So even in them taking down a white supremacist gang, as they're saying it is, the reason for them taking it down had nothing to do with their white supremacist ideologies of harming black people, which I'm more than certain they are very familiar with. This gang harming numerous black people. That's not what got them indicted. They're indicted for drugs and guns, which is cool. Get them off the streets. But I'm just saying, just what does that imply? Why is it we never see any of these organizations take down or scrutinize just based on their anti-black actions, just based on them harming people based on race, unless they're Jewish, maybe, or maybe if they're gay? That's the problem. That's the problem, and that is why, yeah, we do need our anti-black hate crime bill specifically for us. Not one that's all inclusive, or one that sounds good, but really when you get down to the policies, it ain't really that. We don't need that. We need something seriously that protects us, because then that gives us more leverage in protecting ourselves. And I would say do it anyway. Like, don't ever get caught up in lacking and be a victim just because there ain't that law. But I'm saying with that law, it'll make it more solid for us to be able to stand on that when it comes to, courts and all that shit. But subtly on the low, they're letting you know right now that, hey, just them being a hate crime. Because, they scrutinize the Black Panthers, the new Black Panthers, any black organizations that's about empowering or getting justice. When it comes to these white supremacists, they don't really go after them unless they do something more than just against us.
Here's, however, that the business of hate was not enough for them.
The business of hate was not enough for them. So in other words, it almost sounds like he's saying, like, hey, if they would just stay to their hate and harming black people and victimizing black people, it would have been cool. But that wasn't enough. They had to do more.
That the business of hate was not enough for them. Here's, however,
violations to identity theft.
It appears, however, that the business of hate was not enough for them. Their criminal activity took on different forms, driven by.
That is just so telling. That's so telling. What they're basically saying is, look, if you, didn't do the most, you'd be cool. If you were just hating niggas, just harming niggas, it would have been all right. But now you want to start selling big drugs and running guns and blah, blah, blah. Like, white supremacy is imploding on itself because of things like this, by the way. You want to know why Trump was able to almost get his noggin knocked off? White supremacy is to blame for that. Because they were so complacent with where they were that they're lackadaisical with their security, because they were told that this weirdo was walking around looking suspicious, but they never gaffled him up like they should have. He was somehow able to get a rifle and get on the roof. And you could say it was a conspiracy. They're trying to set him up. They're trying to kill Trump. No, they're not, man. Listen, if the Democrats were really trying to kill Trump, he'd be out of here by now. Trust me. They popped JFK's lid in 63 with magic bullets, as they call them. Meaning we don't know what happened. How much more sophisticated is technology that if they really wanted to take him out the game, they could have? No. The reason he even got that close to doing it and got those shots off was because he was a white boy in a white town. If they were in Atlanta, a nigga would have never been able to get on that roof. Trust me. If they were in LA or Chicago, a nigga would have never been able to get that close with a rifle and be able to get a shot off. Trust me on that. The reason why a lot of these police officers that do get killed by these white supremacist groups or these white folks is because they give them so many passes. They'll let a white boy with an AR-15 pointed at him and, fuck you, pig, kill me. No, fuck you. Put the gun down, sir. Put the gun down, sir. They'll say that like 50 times until dude just opens up on them. Stuff that we would never get away with. So because they are so on code with their white supremacy, it's now starting to implode on themselves because it leaves them vulnerable. They want to ban guns to some degree. Illegals with guns, illegal guns, but all these school shootings, these mall shootings, these things that happen, these massive shootings, the persons who tried to take out Trump, they didn't have illegal guns. They had legal registered guns. They were able to get guns despite being mentally out of there. Anyway, I don't want to go on that rant, but anyway.
Agreed, as alleged today, they engaged in drug distribution, multiple fraud schemes, and firearms offenses.
42 of the 68 gang members indicted are now in custody. The remaining 26 are fugitives. The Peckerwoods, according to federal law enforcement, have aligned themselves with the Aryan Brotherhood and Mexican Mafia prison gangs.
What we wanted to do through this investigation was neutralize this threat as quickly as possible. So as I said, we're not going to wait around for a tragedy to occur. We're going to take action right away. And in order to do that, we use every tool in our federal toolbox to address that. And that's what we've done today.
Yeah. The only real reason, hold up real quick, what's this? All right. The only real reason they took them down is because they became a threat to them. And because probably political season, they want to get, you know what I'm saying, be able to run on some shit and say that they took down some gangs. But if they wouldn't have done anything against black people, they would have never got touched. If they would have just done something against us, they would have not got touched. They don't like go after these white supremacist groups. There's thousands of white supremacist groups. Thousands of them. They don't ever get RICOs and indicted unless they do something more than just be a hate group against us or harm us. That won't be enough to get them indicted like that, and especially in massive numbers like this. So don't fall for the fugazi, man. So I want to say that. Let's see what else, man. Let's go back to this real quick. Let's go back to this. So I want to use this to pivot to the last story I'm gonna get into, which is a very interesting story. Let's check out some of the things that's being said about this. Like, look at this right here, man. This is becoming like this is a good look for white supremacists. This is what MAGA loves to see right here. This is like an epic moment for them. Look at that picture right there. Pinned down, a nigga just pinned down, thinking that he's one of them. About to get punched in the face. And of course, the Democrats are making it like, oh, look at these MAGA are racist, which is true. That's why you got to vote for Kamala. Nah. I mean, but it should be an eye opener for y'all who think that because you don't rock with the Democrats or Kamala, you're just going to jump on the MAGA train and that your ideologies line up with theirs. Your reasons for wanting Trump should be different than theirs, if that's who you want. Your reasons for supporting the Republicans should be different than theirs. Theirs is pretty much, I don't care what rhetoric they tell you about immigration and Trump is going to save America. That's not what they give a damn about. And I'll even take it further than that. Even with the optics of this, Trump's a bad guy and he's a criminal and we got to get him out of here and this and that. Even some of that is cap. I mean, is it true? Yes, but they don't care about that. You want to know why they really indicted Trump and why they're trying to get Trump out the paint? It's not just for the political reasons of this particular election. He can only have office for 4 more years. That's not really the real reason. The real threat of Trump isn't the fact that he's going to change the game and he's for the people. That's cap. How many of y'all seen Goodfellas? Goodfellas one of my favorite movies. Though. How many of y'all seen Goodfellas? Check it out. In Goodfellas, for those who've seen it and for those who ain't, they did a big heist, right? This was, a movie with Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Ray Liotta. Matter of fact, I met the real Henry Hill, years ago downtown Seattle. That's a different story. I'll get into that maybe some other time. But anyway, so they did a big bank heist, like the biggest bank heist in history, right? Robert De Niro, who was like, the lead dude, was like, hey, y'all, lay low. Don't buy no new shit. Just be cool. We'll break bread later. Here's a little bit for now, but hey, don't do nothing stupid with it. Don't draw no attention to us. Don't do the most. Just lay low. Then they were having this Christmas party for some of y'all who might remember. They had a Christmas party, and some of the people that, were in on the heist start showing up, brand new Cadillacs and brand new suits, and their wives had mink coats and big diamonds and just blinging, just nigga shit. They showed up on some nigga shit, basically, like just there's too much the shiny shit. They was on their Puff Daddy. And Robert De Niro was like, yo, hold up, man. Didn't I tell you? Don't be loud. Didn't I tell you lay low, stay low? Well, don't worry about it, man. Just don't worry about it. We're gonna say it was a gift from our wedding. Like, no, I told you, man. Take that shit and return it. So a couple people came in doing the most. He sent them back. Like, you got to get out of here. I told you not to be flashy. Get rid of that shit. A few days later, all those people ended up dead. If you remember, if you've seen the movie. Now, why did he have all those guys killed and their wives? Because they're criminals? No. Because they're blowing up the spot. Because if they get popped, it's going to lead to them. Same kind of concept with this Trump. Yes, he's a criminal. They all are criminals. But he's doing the most, and he's doing it so flashy. He's doing it so arrogantly. He's doing it so sloppily. He's so messy with it that if the people figure out on a massive level that he's a crook, they're going to assume everybody is a crook. If him as a president is so flashy and brazen with his criminal activities, his illegal activities, that the whole country can see for what it is, then everyone's going to assume that they're all criminals. Then the people are going to turn against the whole system. So you got to understand, Trump is new money. He's a new money nigga in the power dynamics of white supremacy. Right? You got the Anglos, which is basically like, the English, whatever, Anglo-Saxons. You got the 2939 or the small hats, or as some people call them. Right? Then you have a third wave of new money niggas. A lot of them are white people. JFK was a new money nigga. His family came up because of prohibition. His dad made a hell of a money running bootlegging, used that money to put his children in positions to go to the right schools, to hobnob and rub shoulders and network with the right type of people that can give them political power, put them in action to gain political power. And JFK ended up being president, but he went against the grain because at the end of the day, he was Irish. He was new money. He didn't have the pedigree of going back centuries of wealth. See, these 2939s and these Anglos, even if they don't like each other, they have a cohesive way of working together for mutual benefits for centuries now. So if a JFK or even a Trump, whose family got their money from the same era, except they were on the pimping side of the game, his grandfather. So these new money niggas, if they don't get with the program, they might fuck up the whole game, because especially in Trump's case, he's too greedy. He doesn't care about, like, he's a white supremacist for certain. But understand that there's been a method that these Republicans, Democrats, small hats, Anglos have been operating for centuries. And it's a fine, delicate dance and balance of ruling and extracting and keeping the masses dumb and giving them just enough not to revolt. Give them just enough to where they don't pull a French Revolution type of shit and turn against us because we are the minority, speaking of how they would be looking at it from their perspective. They're the 1%. They're the minority. If the people were united under one cause, they can turn against the 1% in one day. They could vote them out. They can just get, you know what I'm saying, rowdy about it, and, you know. So a Trump, he's going to expose the whole game, not because that's what he wants to do and because he's, you know, for the people, just because he's so sloppy and arrogant and greedy that he's going to make it to where it's undeniable how much corruption's in politics, and that's going to mess it up for everybody. That's why they indicted him the first time. They weren't trying to jail him. If they were really trying to jail him, they would have indicted him and really went hard on the real stuff they could have got him for. That was just a warning shot, like, hey, get low. Stop with the fuckery. You're going to fuck up this thing, man. We figured this thing out. We perfected this mechanism of controlling the masses. You're going to blow up the spot. And in 8 years, you're going to unravel everything we did because of your own greediness and your arrogance. That's like why they don't really fuck with Trump. And some people, of course, they really think he is egregious and his behavior is too outlandish. But all of them are kind of greasy on both sides. But if you're too sloppy, the people get hip. And after a minute, it will just click to the people like, hold up, all this shit is fugazi. And then we understand how much leverage we have and how we can get them all out the paint. So let's just understand that. Let me see. There's hella comments on here, man. I haven't even looked at the comments. What's up, Jesse? What's up, Ricky? White men aren't racist. It's colored Democrats. Okay. I mean, I'll invite one of y'all to come up here. Duke, voting the couch will help Trump win. You do know that the white Irish were the real slaves. The darks were only servants with free will. Okay. So he's trolling. So, you know, I would say I'd let you pull up. I mean, but if you're just going to be trolling and if voting the couch helps Trump, so be it. That's the point. We don't care. We're going to be okay. Look, and this is another thing about these white supremacist MAGA alt-right maggots. They always act like they're just so oppressed. Everything is they're just unfairly treating Trump. Why did they raid his house just because he had some secret classified documents? We should now abolish the whole FBI. The FBI is no good. We need to get rid of them. How dare they go and raid our beloved Jesus' house because he had some, you know, documents that could actually be detrimental. They don't care about the United States. They care about white supremacy. Understand that. This is why I'm saying, like, we can't align ourselves with these people. We can have our strategic reasons for not voting Democratic or even for voting Republican, but you can't align yourself with these people, man. They play like they're the victims. They have no principles. They don't care about America as they act like they do, especially as we get more patriotic and we stake our claim to being Americans in this country. and our contributions, they can give a damn less about America. It's this experiment, the successful experiment, temporarily successful experiment called white supremacy that they want to uphold. Just know that. They don't care if Trump tried to bring down the democracy when he lost the election. They don't give a damn about that. They like the optics, because for these poor white people, they don't mind if they're not doing as good as they could. They'd rather be doing bad with someone who they relate to because of the rhetoric, because they think Trump really fucks with them when they don't, when he doesn't. But they'd rather have that than a prosperous. And I see this all the time in like some of these Facebook groups I'm in, these investment groups. The economy is doing good. They're mad because they want it to do bad, because they'd rather it be bad with Trump at the lead than it be good with a Kamala or even Biden, because Biden acts like he tolerates black people. And that's not enough for them. They know that Biden's also a racist, but that's not enough because he's not standing on it the way Trump does. He's not standing on it the way a lot of these Republican alt-right MAGAs do. That's where their real loyalty is. It's to white supremacy. It's not to America. It's not even to themselves as much as the idea is, hey, we have to continue to rule. We have to rig the game. If we don't rig the game, we can't win. No, we can't allow. They act like affirmative action is helping us. That like affirmative action really helped us. That's cap. Affirmative action helps them. They have affirmative action in their white supremacy. Only in America can a dipshit like Donald Trump, who has failed as a businessman, rise to the highest level of power. Donald Trump, not being white, would have never, ever got close to the White House. I'm not saying don't vote for him if you want to vote for him. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying just at least understand the truth. At least accept the truth. They act like they're just been they're so oppressed. The white man can't even have freedom. We're just suffering. Like, no, they're not. Like how dare you want to abolish the FBI because they raided Trump, who had illegal classified documents, but you didn't say the FBI should be abolished when we were saying how, unjust they were when they murdered our leaders in the 50s, 60s, and 70s and continue to do so now. That wasn't enough. When the FBI and CIA was putting heroin in black communities, that wasn't enough for them to be abolished and dismantled. When they were illegally and unjustly locking our people up, declaring war on drugs, which was a war against us, killing our leaders just for doing things that social workers do, trying to lift their communities, things that really would have a good residual effect to the rest of the country. That wasn't enough for them to say that, hey, the FBI is kind of fugazi, man. Hey, the police, man, maybe some of these police are corrupt. No. White girl gets popped trying to break into the Capitol, and all of a sudden the police ain't shit. The police may be trying to stop them from running up in the nation's capital and hanging the vice president. Now the police, it ain't back to blue now. Look, white folks don't like the police. Let's be real. They do not like the police. I grew up in the suburbs. White folks don't like the damn police. These guys only like the police when they're coming against us. That's when it's back to blue. If they do their job and uphold justice that doesn't go in the favor of a white person, all of a sudden the police are the worst, most disgusting, corrupt organization on this goddamn planet. So just understand that your reasons are different than what theirs is, man. Mr. Duke, you do know that white Irish were real slaves. Okay, white Irish were, well, you guys were looked at pretty poorly by your Anglo brethren. Absolutely. You guys were slaves in the darks, were only servants. This is the level of trolling that they're willing to do. And that's because they don't really have any real talking points. Like, we give these people too much credit for their intelligence when most of them are dumber than shit. Most of them could not make it if the system wasn't rigged for them. This is why they gravitate to Trump. This is why poor, white, uneducated people gravitate towards Trump. I mean, think about it. You're living in poverty in a trailer somewhere as a white man in America, where you've had every opportunity to level up, where you're not scrutinized by the police, where you're not overlooked for jobs and for credit and things like that just because of your color. You actually have a one-up, but you're still a poor, pathetic, inbred, illiterate, mayonnaise sandwich eating, meth smoking piece of trash. And then you got somebody telling you, well, don't worry about it. You're still better than the Mexicans and the blacks. And matter of fact, the reason why you're so poor is because the Mexicans are taking your job. Listen, if a legal immigrant could take your job, that's your fault. Be real about it. If an illegal non-English speaking person can come and take your job, what the hell are you doing at that job? You need to get your skills up. Oh, it's the black folks, man. They get all the concessions, man. If it wasn't for affirmative action, there wouldn't be any black pilots. Like, stop it. Stop it. We proved that one, right? You know the Asians, they sued a bunch of Ivy League colleges for affirmative action because they thought that they were unjustly giving black people tenure at their school. Now, months later, Asians' enrollment and acceptance in Ivy League schools is way down. Ours is about the same. But we already knew that was going to happen. We called that before it happened. Affirmative action helps white girls and gays more than it helps us. But this just goes back to the whole Lyndon Johnson and what he said in the 60s. And this is what these poor white trash are suffering under, because they know they're underachievers and they're failures in a country that was built by us for them. And they have all the opportunities to succeed, but some of them are so damn dumb from generations of inbreeding that they still can't figure it out. But like Lyndon Johnson said, hey, if we give poor white people, this is what he said. He said, if we give poor white people the idea that they're better than other people, like minorities, we can take from them and they'll never second guess it. And that's exactly what you see happen. This is the whole idea of why they support a billionaire who doesn't give a damn about them, whose policies never, ever would help them. So that just goes back to the original theory that, hey, the reason we support, if you want to support Trump, just understand that the reasons you support him is going to be different than theirs. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Trump in the good old days, good old ways. That boy Obama was racist against white people. That's what this guy said. Right? Trump, the good old days, the good old ways, with a loser flag behind him. Dude has a Confederate loser ass flag behind him. What does that tell you? That he's a loser. They're mad because they know they didn't lose that Civil War to their northern brothers. The reason why they have to, in a taboo fashion, fly that Confederate flag, and why it's not the nation's flag, is not because their northern brothers beat them in war. It's because we stomped them out in the Civil War. And it really didn't take that much time. Look, once they let us in the war, we pretty much cleaned them up. We mobbed up. We ran through them. We smacked them up. It was a wrap. It didn't take long. They were stomping out their northern brothers. They were beating the shit out of the Union Army until we got involved. So their anger of losing that is directed towards us for a reason. That's why that's a hate symbol. Because think about it. If it was the Northerners that beat them, why would their Confederate flag waving be anti-us? Why wouldn't it be anti-Northern whites? Because it ain't the Northern whites who defeated them. It was us. We murked them. Understand that. So what they do is a lot of projection. This is why I don't respect it, because it's like, white racists just ain't racism. They ain't, doing their white racism like they used to. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not an advocate of racism. I don't, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, when they're doing this type of weak shit, they make their ancestors, you know what I'm saying, roll in their grave. Like they're disrespecting their own ancestors at this point. That boy Obama is racist against white people. Like, stop it. Like, this is what I'm saying. Look, what the grievances they have against Obama is so diametrically different than ours. You know that it has to be bullshit. Obama's racist against white people, and because he set so many policies, and the things that he said is just so egregiously against white people. No, that's just them trying to spin the narrative because they're too cowardly. See, this is why some of these cats allow a Candace Owens, because they're pussies. All they could do is spew hatred and lies, because that's the foundation of white supremacy, is deception. So this is the kind of mentality of why Candace Owens had some traction, because he just won't say what the truth is. So he has to they'll bring in somebody else. And I need a black face to say all the racist shit that I'm too cowardly to say. Make up shit, just say some bullshit, just go out there, go. Obama's racist against white people. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say he was. Let's say he was. Is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing, Trump in the good old days? Is that a bad thing if Obama was racist against white people? If he's racist, is that bad? If he had the same energy for white people that you have towards black people, wouldn't you respect that? Wouldn't you think that appropriate? Because isn't racism and hatred a good thing? Or are you knowingly participating in something that's evil? Or is it just you're not principled? I mean, you have a Confederate flag. Like, you're flying the battle flag of a losing army that was in opposition of America. This is why I said earlier, they don't care about America. They're really loyal to white supremacy. It's not America, not the idea of America, not the Constitution, none of that. They're only about white supremacy. Let's see, military muscle. Any black that votes for Trump supports his white supremacist. I'm voting Harris. FBI imposters like Tariq Nasheed, Phil Scott are agents working for Trump. Okay, those are. I mean, I get it. That's fair. That's your opinion. I wouldn't say any black that votes for Trump supports his white supremacists. I mean, I get what you're saying, but there are strategic reasons why some of us, not me, I'm not voting for either of them at this point, but there's strategic reasons why I would understand black people voting for Trump. I don't think it's good strategy to openly support Trump or the Democrats because they haven't said anything that they were going to do to better our lives specifically. And if we were to just jump to the Republicans, we're just plantation jumping. Like, if they haven't told us a good reason, if they haven't given us a good specific reason to support them, and we just jump from being Democrats to Republicans, well, they're only going to be able to run the same game that the Democrats ran, which is not do anything. So no, there's strategic reasons, I believe, that some of the FBA's black people could not even support Trump, but just maybe try to hasten the demise, quickening the demise of the Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? Imposters like Tariq Nasheed, Phil Scott are agents working for Trump. I don't think that's directly a thing. I think in the case of Tariq Nasheed, I think he just hates the Democrats. Like he seems to like he doesn't fuck with the Democrats at all. And I get why. And he might be angling for some. I mean, he did put out the statement that, he would like to interview Trump and Kamala. And hey, if he could pull that off, that'd be a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Put it out there. He has enough influence that if they were smart, they probably would tap in with him. Honestly, I think they've considered it. I just think they don't think that they have to because they're underestimating the foundational Black American movement, the delineation movement, the sophistication of the political sophistication that is starting to procure itself within the Black community. I think they're the grassroots community specifically. I think we're right at the cusp of being able to neutralize all of their Democratic shills to the point to where they're still measuring if those shills have any more traction left, if they have any more mileage left that they can get out of them. Once they determine that, they're going to start tapping into new Black media, independent Black media. I guarantee it. So do I think that they're taking checks from Trump? I don't think so. Let's see who else we got, man. Military muscle, stop the cap. K-Hive don't give a damn about you. That's a fact too. And then you did say that you're voting Harris. Now, I would like to hear a good reason why you're voting. Let me put this up here just in case anybody wants to come in, man. I got time today. My Seahawks, you know what I'm saying? They ain't looking good and shit. So yeah. I'll let somebody come up. I'll let y'all come up, man. We can chop it up. Shabaka says, what's up, Shabaka? Yeah, MAGA trolls tonight. That's good, man. That's good. The fact that they feel like they had to tap into liberation-minded media. And listen, I mean, and I'm used to it. With my last YouTube channel, they was always in there. Black Guy Stand Radio, they was calling in. Here's Mr. Duke. I'm a white Christian man for Trump. Many of us whites for Trump love seeing the darks like Tariq Nasheed, Phil Scott, Afro Elite, Black Alpha, Lisa Cabrera, Black Authority all support Trump. That's a very interesting comment right there, Mr. Duke. Thank you for the comment, by the way. But that shows you something. You know what I'm saying? To kind of continue with the point I was just making. Like they're tapped in, right? The mainstream media, as you know, is tapped in. They don't really like to acknowledge, but they're tapped into the new Black media, man. I promise you that. And they have been. And I'm not just talking about the big names. They're tapped in. They're going to listen to a liberation-minded media here and there. They're gonna watch some of these smaller channels. They're going to try to get the sentiments of what we're saying because they understand that the grassroots is where it's really at. They understand that the grassroots is delineating and getting stronger. So, of course, these other white supremacists, because it's so accessible, because it's the internet, they're tapping in. They know what's up. They're moving around. They're tapping in and listening from afar. Sometimes they're bold enough to actually say something. That's a real thing. Interesting enough, we don't do that to them. We don't really care what they're saying in their little groups, but they're very interested and invested in what we're saying, just like the tethers are. The white supremacists, the tethers, the coons, the dominant society, they are very invested in what we're saying. And for people that's supposed to be inferior, you'd have to ask yourself, why? Why are they so worried about us darkies, us low IQ darkies? You know what I'm saying? They snitch on themselves in that regard. Because they know in a matter of time it's up. I'm not saying on some Nat Turner shit. I'm saying just on some, like, you know, we get our money up, we get our political sophistication up, we get our business and industry up. If we were able to actually have a successful Pan-African movement, meaning that these tethers weren't tethering, and if our brothers and sisters in the continent, in the Caribbean, if they were really making the moves they should and acknowledging us the way they should on a bigger scale, it would be up. But they're not. So it's us. It's us and us. We and we, I and I. That's a whole different conversation, though. So yeah, they're tapped in. They're definitely paying attention, man. Trump has done amazing things. I don't know if it's like one person with the same account just flipping back and forth, or I don't know what it is. Trump did many amazing things to help us colored. So Ricky Manor, I guess he's cosplaying as a black Nazi type of black Confederate type of guy, whatever. Ricky Manor, the colored conservative. Somebody check to see if these are real YouTube channels, man. Ricky Manor, the colored conservative. I support Trump because he did many amazing things to help us colored vote Trump. Yeah. So, you know, this is trolling. Like, this is not a real person. You should know that, because black people don't call them. I mean, whatever. It's just interesting, though. It's very interesting that the amount of trolling that these folks are willing to do, and energy that they put into trying to tap into our business and our conversations, and even if it's a small platform like this, right? Many of us white Christians for Trump love seeing the darks vote, whatever. God sent Trump to save white Christians from the evil, racist Obama Biden Democrat that hate white people, especially white Christians. Shout out to Jesse Paris. Matter of fact, look, Jesse Paris, man. This is why I say, yeah, we got to vote local. Vote local. Let's put our folk into play locally. And then if you want to leave the top of the ballot empty, do that. Because for two reasons, like I said. One, you vote locally, people like Jesse Paris, Marcel Dixon, and others could be on a level to where, you know, they could start navigating and moving in the political scene and doing things, and we start building up our own political apparatus that's tapped in. So for one, it helps that, because the local politics, they govern you directly. It's gonna affect you directly. So vote locally. But if you do that and you leave the top open, if you do want to vote the couch, vote locally, because that way you at least activate the idea that politically engaged individuals are deliberately not voting the top of the ticket. Because if you don't vote for nothing, then you don't even really register. You don't really, you know what I'm saying? You're just part of the non-voting population, general non-voting population. But if you vote the locals, then you leave the national alone. That shows a signal that, hey, these people are politically engaged. They just deliberately don't want to fuck with you. Let's see what else. Jesus is white. God is Trump. God is white. Jesus is white. God is white. Trump 24. Yeah, see, they're just doing silly shit at this point. Let me get to this. I'm gonna. Now we're gonna pivot to more black politics, you know. And on this one, I'm gonna bring in my brother Shay Nkrumah, aka Jesse Paris.
Yes, sir. B1 salute. How you doing, Jay?
B1 family, how you doing, brother?
I'm all right. Look, like you said, you got swarm with the MAGA trolls tonight. There was some Kamala trolls in there too, but mainly MAGA. Like you said, we control the narrative now, so they tapped in, they listening to everything that we talking about.
Yeah, I believe that. And that ain't even new. They just now like kind of showing their hand a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They've been watching. They've been lurking. Believe that.
They've been lurking, but now they're trying to make their presence known.
Yeah. So what's going down in the D, man? What's going down in the Denvers?
Shit, it's election time. Like you said, locally is where it's at. So I'm on the ballot out here in Colorado for House District 8, Colorado State House District 8.
Yeah, I seen that.
So we got our little forums and debates. I got a debate next week, I believe. Yeah, I got a debate next week. It's gonna be televised.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna be in it?
Uh-huh.
How we gonna be able to tap into that? Are you gonna air it? You gonna record it?
Yeah, I'll record it. I'll send it to you too. They took down my Facebook, 2 of my Facebook pages. So I gotta send you a request on my new page.
All right.
So I'll get that to you.
I'm glad you said that because usually if I see a different page with somebody I know, I usually don't accept it. So I'm glad you said that. I usually think it's like hacked or something.
Yeah, no, it's me. It'll be from my government, Jesse Paris.
All right.
So yeah, I got that going on. Got this ACT Summit this next 2 days. I'm gonna head over there tomorrow. Shabaka's gonna do a grand rising with Shabaka and the Chase tomorrow.
I think I'll probably be up. I might tap into that one. I'll be up in the morning.
And then trying to get this shit together where I live. This shit is crazy over
here. What's going on?
Shit, mothers dying left and right from that damn fentanyl. Goddamn blues. It's just never a dull moment where I'm at.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a question. So you showed the video of old boy getting beat up by the white supremacists. Do you think he was FBA?
I'm not sure about that. I'd be willing to wager that he might not have been.
I don't think it was FBA either. I'm like, why would you put yourself in that kind of situation?
Yeah.
Like, FBA, we already know not to come to no damn Trump rally alone.
Not only that, yeah, exactly. Not only that, I think he was a vendor. I'm hearing that he was a vendor.
Yeah, he was a vendor, and he got into it with a white vendor.
Yeah, see, so I mean, that alone kind of leads non-FBA to me because that's something that one of those tethers would do. Try to tap into that alt-right and try to, monetize it. Probably had some Trump gear and stuff like that. He thought he was going to be able to milk them for that and go in there solo and like that was really going to work out.
Yeah.
I think most FBAs would be more wiser than that.
That mug is coming out here tomorrow. Him and Kamala is be out here tomorrow.
Who, Trump and Kamala?
Mm-hmm. Kamala's coming to Denver, and Trump is coming to Aurora.
I think Tim Walz was he was fundraising the other day up here.
Up in Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they think they definitely got Colorado in the bag. I've been seeing all them damn Kamala Harris signs all up and down the street in my neighborhood.
Yeah. Hey, did you hear about this Chicago mayor? You know anything about the Chicago mayor?
Oh man, Brandon Johnson, he be doing the most.
Yeah, I just got hip to him like a couple days ago.
Oh my God, that mug, he's worse than Lightfoot. They was better off Lightfoot.
Really?
From what I heard, though, he at one point he was for our people, and then he sold out. He took that money, and now they want him out.
I was just watching a couple stories, and I was like trying to figure out like what he was on because he tries to talk like he's saying rah 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 for the.
He spent over $1 billion on the damn illegals.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that's why they having cuts in the budget and all kinds of shit. Like all these damn Democratic cities. All this goddamn money on the illegals, and they have to make cuts to their budget. Like our mayor Johnston doesn't have to make cuts to the budget behind this.
Okay, so he's been the mayor for a minute then.
Since 2022.
Okay. So some of that shutting down schools for immigrants that was under him.
Well, that's the school shutting down was under Lightfoot. He took over after Lightfoot.
I noticed that they're trying to protest it. Excuse me. Yeah, because he's talking like he's trying to make things better and shit. And here's my thing, man. What I was gonna say about him. Matter of fact, let's watch a little bit.
Okay.
Let's watch a little bit of this real quick. And this is from TYT. And I watched this last night, and I don't think she's the best messenger for what she's saying.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily disagree with what she's saying. I just don't think she's a good messenger because I don't really trust her character like that.
How many of you support taking out a
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. It's disrespectful. Do you have a question for me?
Okay, I'm sorry that you brought them up here, and it is a
Do you have a question for me? You know what a better question would be? What are you willing to do with your power to ensure that a school district that stuffed black children in Willis wagons? What you should be asking me is, what are you willing to do when you had a district that have laid off black women?
I'm going to ask my own questions. Thank you.
To some, it may look like a coup by the CTU to get rid of the board members who would not do your bidding and fire Pedro Martinez. Can you respond to that?
What's the question?
Well, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson made an absolute mockery out of a press conference this week in which he refused to answer absolutely valid budget-related questions from journalists and also engaged in Trump-like hostility toward reporters for asking him valid questions. Now, look, there's been a lot of turmoil in Chicago for various reasons. The city, for instance, is projected to have a nearly $1 billion budget shortfall for the 2025 fiscal year. That is no joke. And I want to make it clear, when it comes to local politics, fiscal issues can't be dealt with the way fiscal issues are dealt with on a national level. On a national level, you have the Federal Reserve printing money. That's not the case for cities or states. They really do have to balance the budget. And so these are incredibly valid questions because if you don't answer them, people are going to wonder, well, where are we going to start seeing the cuts to close that budget gap? And he's just unwilling, but from the teachers union, and is making decisions, in my opinion, that could potentially lead to school closures and all sorts of terrible outcomes in the future. And so what Johnson wants to do in order to close that budget gap is get the school district to take out a $300,000.
Actually, it's $300 million.
Short-term, high-interest loan. And that doesn't sound like a great idea for those who are looking to, stop digging Chicago into a major hole. And because of these fiscal issues, again, you have no possibility of a low-interest loan. They can only be approved for a high-interest loan. So the cost of borrowing the money is going to be high. And the loan would both fund the pension and give the teachers the 10% raise that they're asking for. Now, look, I want to be clear. I am overall and in general in favor of paying teachers more. I have a long record of that, and I have not changed my mind on that. However, you can't do it if the economic fundamentals in the city don't make sense for it. Even though I would love to see the teachers make more money, absolutely. Now, the only other way to oust now, since Martinez said, no, I don't think this is a good idea, as the head of Chicago Public Schools, I refuse to take out this high interest, short-term $300,000 loan. Instead, what I would like to do is balance the budget. And he created his own budget. The budget was meant to avoid school closures at least through 2027. So no schools would have to approve.
All right, so just to summarize this, I want to get into some more of his responses. So what's basically going down apparently is Mayor Johnson, the teachers want their promised pension and a 10% raise. The city doesn't have the money because they're $1 billion in deficit, and I'm sure as Brother Paris just said, that a lot of that comes from what they gave to these immigrants. So now what he wants to do is he wants to take out a $300 million loan and use some of that to pay off the pension and to give the teachers the raises. But the head of the school board said no, he doesn't want to do that. So now he basically is cooping him out the picture, putting up his own team that's going to pass, the idea of the loan. Now, listen, here's what I would say, man. And as you can see, and you're going to see a little bit later, he's using a lot of black rhetoric, right? He's using a lot of, matter of fact, let's just go ahead and play this real quick. Where's that one where he's talking like real black shit? Like it's all about, hold up. Let me see if I can find it.
Welcome back. It's 12:18. As you saw earlier, a defiant Mayor Brandon Johnson, Justin.
Makilla Blaze, Mary Gardner, Reverend Mitchell, Kenneth Johnson, Deborah Pope, and Frank Niles Thomas. We're learning a little bit more about some of these appointees. Deborah Pope has been a longtime organizer with the Chicago Teachers Union. And then Makilla Blaze, she had been running for the new elected school board coming up. She had surreptitiously, I can say that word, dropped out. Leaving a CTU ally, G2 Brown, to run unopposed, leaving many wondering whether there was some backroom deal here cut to put her on this appointed board. A lot of just press conference.
When I ran for mayor, I promised to transform our public education system. I'm a man of my word. And that means bold leadership in a moment that doesn't nibble around the edges and look for incremental gain. Our people in this city are tired of political leaders that want the status quo to nibble around the edges, and then when children don't get what they deserve, they blame the very communities that they've disinvested in. Not on my watch. Status quo, past mistakes that have left our students behind, we're not doing that. And then the so-called experts, the so-called fiscally responsible stewards are making the same argument when our people wanted to be liberated and emancipated in this country. The argument was you can't free black people because it would be too expensive. They said that it would be fiscally irresponsible for this country to liberate black people. And now you have detractors making the same argument of the Confederacy when it comes to public education in this system. These are the people who package these gimmicks, lied to our people, stole money from our people, refused to pay into the pension system, left the taxpayers with the bill, and for me to fix it. You better listen. But we're going to build a world-class school district, you all, because the vision of the status quo is to leave our children behind. Fire teachers assistants, fire custodial workers, fire nurses. That is their vision.
So there's a lot to unpack on that one. Okay, so first of all, him being a former teacher and being in the teachers union, I would expect that he would want to ride for the teachers, and I hope he's sincere with that. Like, to me, that makes sense. Okay, he was a teacher. He's in the teachers union. He sees that the teachers in the teachers union, they need this money. He's going to try to make it happen for them. That's respectable, right?
Yeah.
I'm also hearing a lot of black talk. He's blacking it up, trying to get that black base. That's okay. But here's my thing, though. There's two different things that I want to say. And one of it I'll touch on even later. It seems like they're attacking these black politicians. You see what's going on with Mayor Adams in New York.
Yep,
and whether it's justified or not isn't the point. The point is it's deliberate. Because I don't think whatever he's being accused of, Eric Adams and this dude, I don't think that it's any different than most of these big city white mayors do. They do shenanigans as well. They try to get the bag, right? Mm-hmm. They're gonna try to do their thing. And I'm not even saying that's bad. Look, if this dude is sincere, and I don't know if he is, but if he's sincere about trying to make the education system in Chicago work better for black people, I support him on that. Even if he chisels a little bit of the money, like if he's gonna get this $300 million loan and he might pocket $3 million and still make the rest work, I ain't even mad at him. For local politicians, hey, get your money, but be what you say you're going to be. Right. Like you can get your money, you can still make your little money and still serve the people, and still and not only will that make your career better if you're serving the people, but you're going to get the backing of the community. So when they do come against you, you have some type of protection. You have some type of leverage. You have something, a record that you can show of good things that you've done for the community. So I don't care if he wants to get the bag. I don't care if he does some gangster moves by removing everybody that's in his way and putting in his own people and then getting that loan. And listen, Chicago's a big city. He should be able to generate some type of revenue to pay off that loan. He should be able to do something. 300 million is a lot, but Chicago's a big city. There's some type of ways that he could generate revenue as a mayor to make that work. So if he wants to chisel from the top and be gangster with it, I don't care. What I do care about is make sure that you actually serve the people. You know the challenges that Chicago has. Schools closing. Teachers maybe not paid like they overpaid, overworked, or underpaid and overworked. Fix those problems. Do what you have to do to educate those children, even if you have to do some unorthodox types of education. But make sure you take care of the people. And if you do that and you chisel a little bit, it's all fair. What you think?
It sounds good, but he's not doing that. That mug is so full of shit. He spent what was it, $30,000 on haircuts alone. He putting the migrants up in these schools, these abandoned buildings. They're getting migrants brand new homes in Chicago. They allowed the illegals to use one of the community centers to house the migrants. Like, the dude is just bad news. Like, he says one thing out the side of his mouth and then does something completely different. Like,
so he's just running game with all that black talk, basically.
Yeah, he's just running game. He's not gonna follow through with none of that.
See, that's the problem right there. For black politicians, man, that's the problem. Do not talk that black talk and then think that you're gonna do some chicanery, because they're gonna come after you. You're gonna be scrutinized more than a white mayor would be. I'm sure there's white mayors doing the most in these big cities. Bloomberg in New York, for example.
My mayor right now, Johnston, is doing the goddamn most. He needs to up on goddamn charges. They ain't doing that though.
Right. So if you're gonna come in with that black shit, you better actually walk that walk.
Right.
Because as soon as you give them leverage to take you out the game, they're gonna take you out anyway. So you're gonna now isolate yourself from us, who you made these promises that you didn't intend to keep. Yep. Now you're in limbo because Eric Adams.
That's what happened to Eric Adams.
That's exactly what happened to him. He was back in the blue, and the stop and frisk was cool and all that shit. And now they're getting him for taking upgraded tickets from Turkish Airlines.
Yep, that part. And you see, they didn't start coming after him until he spoke against the Biden administration. Because remember, he was like, y'all come on in. Y'all come right on in to New York. We'll take you. Come on in. Then like a year later, he switched his tune up, said, no, stop coming here. We can't afford it. Or stop coming here. He went down to Columbia, Jay, and was like, y'all need to stop coming to New York City. And they had people out there with signs talking about he was xenophobic and all this shit. But he was just xenophobic when he was allowing y'all to come run amok in New York City.
Okay.
So and then I said that, and he said, "Hey, Biden, I need some money for all these damn illegals. Oh, we got to jump up some charges on you. Oh, Eric Adams, you were getting bribes when you were running for mayor. So yeah, it's definitely a domino effect. And then, like you said, the white ones, they do this shit all the time. But when the black one, when a black one does it, they want to scrutinize, put the microscope on them, like Tiffany Henry right down the way in Dalton. She done run away with like $8 million of the taxpayers' dollars.
Where's that at?
Like you said, Dalton, Illinois, which is right down the way from Chicago.
Oh, okay.
A suburb of Chicago.
She done run away with $8 million. White lady?
Yep. No, a sister.
Oh.
Sister, she said, y'all take it on a black woman. Y'all black. What's his face? Uncle Phil was always playing the clip on his show. Her saying that she's a former trustee that got elected mayor, and now she's like doing the most. She like running Dalton like New Jack City.
Oh, I think I heard about that. Yeah. So is she under scrutiny or what? Are they trying to get her?
Oh yeah, they got a probe on her and everything.
Yeah, see. That's what I'm saying.
And then they had arrested another mayor, the Asian mayor in Oakland, Shang Tao or whatever. She got arrested. They raided her house and everything, just like they raided Eric Adams' spot. They raided her spot too.
Hey, there's an activist. She looks like she's like black and Chinese. She's up here though.
Okay.
She was running a Boys and Girls Club and all this other stuff, but then they found out that she was pushing fentanyl.
Oh.
Yeah, now they coming down on her. So like, look, they coming after niggas, man.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're gonna be in the politics, first of all, you got to be more polished. You can't have the baggage. You can't do as much shenanigans. Yeah. There's legal ways you can get the paper. There may even be some under the table ways you can get the paper, but you can't be extra loud about it. You got to be able to play that game, and you got to deliver for your constituents. That's
right.
number one. You have to deliver. Because if you're not on the up and up, they're coming after you that faster because they know you don't have the protection of the people. If you're delivering for the people, it's harder for them to come after you, even if you got a little bit of dirt on you.
Right.
But if you don't deliver, well, the people ain't gonna be there to protect you because you just fucked them. And now you're food.
Yep. That's what happened to Eric Adams.
Yeah. So you running for office.
Yep.
You running for a representative slot in the 8th district, right?
Yes, correct.
I'm sure because I know you're get down that you intend to do what you say you're gonna do to help your community.
Right. Correct.
Right. And in that doesn't mean that you can't live prosperous.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In legally, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I hope you do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Get that money. Get your money. Deliver for the people, though.
That's
go ahead. And that's why we have to. That's why it's important that like you're doing what you're doing, and it's important that we continue that legacy and that we build up a generation of those who are getting politically engaged, you know, paying attention to politics, participating in politics, running for different offices, especially on the local level.
Yes.
Because with that, we have the leverage to start, you know, controlling our own destiny more, policies that directly affect us, and we can deliver for our people. But understand there's going to be a level of scrutiny that is going to be a little extra.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be games that they're going to play. They're going to try to they're going to vet you. They are going to try to find your deep, darkest secret. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you can find out. Like, look, my big brother and mentor, Andre Taylor, ex-pimp, got into activism after he got out and all that. The first thing he did is put all of his dirt on the table. And I remember we used to have these conversations all the time when we were trying to get this law passed in Washington State, which we actually were successful in doing. And he was like, look, Jay, you got to just put your dirt out there before they can. And then you can use your past as a success story and inspiration for others.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now you can Malcolm X it. You can be like, yeah, I used to be a pimp.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be in the game. I was born and raised like this. But look, now I'm using that same passion to do something good. So now when they try to throw that, you used to be a pimp, you used to sell drugs. Yes, I've been delivered from all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I can relate to the constituency and know how to serve and what these people need on an intimate level because I was them.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Right?
Yep. You right on.
So you ain't got to run from it. You ain't got to hide from it. Run to it. Embrace it.
That's right. Well, they already know. This ain't my first rodeo. This is the third time I done ran for office at the local state level.
Keep running. Are you learning something every time? You learning more and more?
Yes. I'm learning how deceptive and manipulative these damn Democrats are.
Yeah.
They so critical, it ain't even funny. These same ones talk about we need to preserve democracy, but they go out their way to try to keep third-party candidates off the ballot.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. I remember we have a lady that she ran on the socialist ticket for city council years ago, historic because she got on there.
Yeah.
But as she elevated, as she did her things, the Democrats, they did try to cut her out. Matter of fact, she doesn't really like the Democrats to this day because they say they try to shut her out. They don't want fair competition. They don't, you know what I'm saying?
They don't. They really don't. They don't want that. They don't want you to be engaged, actual free thinker.
Nope.
They want you to have a hive like mine. That's why we call the Kamala sexuals the K hive.
The K hive.
You got that hive like mine. Oh, we all gotta think alike and blah 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 blah. Why y'all justify being off code and beholden to a party that don't give a damn about your black ass? Like, why are people so loyal to this party that don't give a damn about us? They treat us like a abusive relationship. Like, this is an abusive relationship that our people have with the Democratic Party. They treat us so any old kind of way, don't do nothing specifically for us, tell us exactly what they're not gonna do for us, and then expect us to vote. Still go out and vote for them.
Yeah.
And gonna fearmonger us to the polls. These damn bootlicks out here, it's a shame, Jay. We got the Congressional Black Caucus, which don't do shit. You got the Carter Black Round Table, which is a bunch of boule Negroes. And these supposed to be the people supposed to be speaking on our behalf. Like,
NAACP.
Oh, yeah, can't forget them.
The National Association of Black Journalists.
Yep, them, the Urban League, the Black Church in general. Like, none of that shit is beneficial for us. No.
Right. Hence why we got these white supremacists, these tethers and coons that are tapping into our platforms the way they are. Because they ain't doing that to the churches and to the NAACPs and to these groups that they have put up to represent us. They ain't doing that to them. They're not in Roland Martin's chat.
Hell no. Oh my God, I'm so sick of seeing him show up in my feed. Every time I see one of his videos.
Hey, you know how many times I put not interested anytime I see Roland Martin video, and it's always still there?
Yeah.
I've put not interested every time I see his shit for the past 2 years, bro. For literally for the past 2 years, anytime I see one of his videos, not interested, and they still pop up.
Yeah, that's deliberate.
That's deliberate as fuck.
Yeah, that BI, what do they call it? BIE. Not Black Identity Extremists, but it's a network that they have that all they play is his bullshit. So they play it for like 24 hours a day on this network. It's like the Boule BET type of network. It's ridiculous. That's why they're so mad about the new black media. Like they keep saying that, like Kamala keeps saying she got a black male problem. No, you got a new black media problem.
Facts.
That can no longer sweep under the rug and act like it ain't there, Kamala. Remember, we're the ones that knocked you out the pain in 2019.
Right.
And then Sleepy Glitch Joe picked you up like a $5, $2 hoe on Colfax, or Atlantic Drive or Alaska Drive. What is the street y'all have out there? Alaska.
Aurora.
In Seattle.
Aurora.
What's the name of the street? Alaska Drive?
No, Aurora.
Oh, Aurora. Okay. Or like Aurora Street. And now she's the vice president, and we ain't seen her for 3.5 years. And now she want to show up calling DeSantis, talking about I want to help. Bitch, where the fuck have you been for 3.5 years? You are like, this is the only disaster that hit Florida or something. Now all of a sudden you want to get involved with what's happening in Florida. And the Panther was right. He was like, look, I ain't got time for this. I got to make sure the people of Florida is safe. You see that karma, though. You know, them hurricanes take the same routes the slave ships took.
Facts. And they're wiping off a lot of those. They're wiping out a lot of those poor white trash towns. So, just like that fire that burnt down Paradise. Remember that in California?
Yeah, fiery up.
Hey, but something that you reminded me of. All right, so here's how you know that the new black media is a problem. Roland Martin's YouTube channel claims to have over 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, they claim, but he only gets a couple thousand.
Over 1 million. I seen one of his things live. He had like 24 people in there.
Wow.
Now look at Professor, look at the Black Authority or Phil or any, Tariq Nasheed or even Corey Holcomb, who's a comedian, but he'll talk some shit. You gotta agree with all of it, but he'll stand on some shit. They get thousands and they don't have 1 million.
Yeah, they
so look at who's that other dude? Look at Don Lemon. Fresh from CNN. Starts a YouTube channel. Now, with all that CNN pull, with all that CNN momentum, his shit should be popping.
It should, but it's not.
He should be getting tens of thousands on his live streams and millions of views. He's been on TV for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Nothing. Look at Moist Lamont Shill.
Oh my God.
He was on CNN for a long time. He has a little YouTube channel, and they ain't really doing numbers like they should be doing for somebody that's been on the mainstream media for years.
Yeah, look at Angela Rye, Tiffany Cross.
Tiffany Cross, come on. Candace Owens even on the other side.
Yeah, on the other side. Yeah, Candace Owens, Tommy Sotomayor, Crispy.
Yes, Crispy. Can't forget about Crispy. So they don't get the kind of numbers, man. These are people that's been on the mainstream. They were used against us for all these years, but now the new black media has way more influence than they ever have. They can't put together a function and make it pop like the new black media. They don't get the type of numbers. Like their big outlets compared to the new black media big outlets, they don't get the same kind of numbers. Even if they so-called have more subscribers, because a lot of those are just bots anyway. They're just they pay for that shit.
Yeah, they paying for subscribers. They paying for views. Yeah, we got our version of Roly Poly Martin out here, Jeff Fart. And every time I was able to tap into one of his lives, he had like 20 or 30 people in the chat. But then when the episode is over, somehow he got over 500 views.
Right.
1,000 views. Like, how is this even possible?
That's how Roland Martin be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You see Roland Martin live, and now his numbers have kicked up a little bit because I think they're juicing them up because political season.
Yeah. Well, them Democratic shells is in full effect, and you got to cover this, Jay. Them us doing all this shilling and they ain't even getting paid.
I seen a video Tariq Nasheed made about that. I didn't really check out the video though.
Yeah, Tariq covered it. Uncle Phil covered it, and I think Vicky Diller covered it. But yeah,
so there was promised money and they didn't get it, or how'd that work out? What happened?
She's not paying them. The campaign, they're not paying them. The people that's out here shelling online, Kamala, they're not getting paid.
They ain't even getting paid. Did they expect that they was going to get paid?
Yeah, they expected it. If you're gonna be a shield, at least be a paid shield.
Right.
Like shilling for free. Right. They just hate the dumpsters that bad that they're just like, no. And they keep talking to Project 2025 and they ain't even ready. I don't even know what the hell. I don't even know both parties is intertwined with the shit and have been trying to enforce it for decades. Both parties, not just the Republicans, not just the reptilians, the Democrats too. But they always try to play bad cop when they all bad.
Right.
None of them in our best interest.
Right. And whatever whatever could be detrimental in there ain't gonna affect them anyway.
At the end of the day, when they're
gonna be good.
When they catch the malaria, we catch the flu.
Look, Democrats and Republicans, if they run into each other at the damn country club or at a fancy restaurant, they're not beefing.
No, they're not.
They're not beefing any more than the Super Bowl opponents are when they see each other.
Right.
They're good.
It's
They're clapping hands and dapping it up. And how's your son? How's your kids doing? Oh, okay. We're having a little party at Christmas. You coming by?
Mm-hmm.
They're good.
You remember that movie Trick Baby? The dinner scene. It was a 70s movie called Trick Baby.
I think I read the book, Iceberg Slim or something, or Donald Goines.
Or Donald Goines. Yeah.
Did he write a book called Trick Baby?
No,
or was that Iceberg Slim?
I think that was Iceberg Slim that wrote the book.
Yeah.
But either way, there was a movie called Trick Baby, and there's a scene in there. It's a dinner scene, and they're talking amongst each other, the Democrats and the Republicans, and they're basically talking about how they're gonna keep us in control, in check, and the methods that they use to do it. So you get one of them out the ghetto, you raise them up, and the Republican gonna ask why you do that. Because if you don't, then he's gonna go back to his people and tell them what we're up to, and our plans are foiled. So you take one of them out the ghetto, you raise him up, and after a while, his people grow to resent him because they have realized that he sold them out, and he's no longer useful for them. He becomes useful for us. Because outside of his skin color, he's one of us. So it was a real deep movie. At least that scene to the movie.
Well, I'll be damned if that ain't tactics that.
You have
we can see we can see those kind of tactics being used right now.
Right, and you have coons and mammies serving them dinner while this is going on. Like you got the house niggas right there, like yes, boss. Oh, what you need? Yes, boss. Like them type of girls and niggerettes. So yeah, it was real deep. Trick Baby came out in like.
So they make So think look at that game though. Like we see that right now. They'll kind of tolerate and quote unquote befriend some of these alt-right coons or even the left coons.
Yep.
We don't trust them, but they're still useful to them for a period of time. But after a period of time, they're not even going to be useful to them anymore, and they get cut.
Well, white supremacists always break their tools.
Always break their tools. Right.
Shout out Professor Black Truth.
Yeah. So, and I would argue that they break the tools because they can't allow the tools to get too strong. Even if the tools are cooning for them, they know that if they get too strong, their intentions could change. So they have to cut them before their capabilities get to a point to where they could be a hindrance to them.
Right. And that's basically what was expressed in that movie or that scene of the movie.
Okay. Trick Baby. Where can you get that on YouTube?
Yeah, you can check it out on YouTube. They got
Trick Baby.
But type in the Trick Baby dinner scene and it'll pop right up.
Hold up, let me get that right now.
You might be able to share it on the screen.
Oh, bam, it is on there. Okay, hold up. All right, how we gonna do it? We'll do it like this. Hold up. Okay. Hold up, I'm also pull this shit up right now.
It's you liberals who have lifted the power.
Oh, you can compare you to.
You can't afford to strangle hope in people. Without hope, people become dangerous.
No, Howard, you liberals have let them invade our society. You give them jobs, political jobs.
Oh, you missed the point. It's only the smart ones we move up.
That makes it even worse.
No, we have to move them up. If we leave a smart one in the ghetto, he might develop into a leader against us. But if we raise him up into white society, we neutralize him. He feels compelled to try to act like us. He loses his identity and his racial anger, if he has any. He becomes alien to his brothers. They realize he sold them out and they grow to hate him. He becomes worthless to them and safe for us. No, thank you. In fact, in his love for the creature comforts, except for its color,
that subtle no thank you. As niggas are serving them. This is hold up. Let's take this shit back a little bit, man. Okay.
if we leave a smart one in the ghetto, he might develop into a leader against us. But if we raise him up into white society, we neutralize him. He feels compelled to try to act like us. He loses his identity and his racial anger, if he has any. He becomes alien to his brothers. They realize he sold them out and they grow to hate him. He becomes worthless to them and safe for us. No, thank you. In fact, in his love for the creature comforts, except for his color, he's become one of us. In fact, in his love.
So he's the Democrat. He's speaking as the Democrat.
Right. That's the
And
liberal.
Yeah, and on the other side of the table, it's the Republican, the conservative, and he's the one that's asking them all the questions. And he's like, "Look, this is why we do what we're doing." So ain't really much change. They still doing the same shit today.
Yeah.
But they got full thinking, "Oh, the big bad Republicans." When it's the Democrats, that's just as evil, if not more evil, than the damn Republicans.
Well, they're more dangerous because they will comfort us psychologically, right?
Yeah.
So the Republicans, for the most part, we know they don't fuck with us, so they can't really fool us as easy. They can't come amongst us, and the rhetoric will turn us off to even, letting them get close to us.
Right.
The Democrats, they run the greasy like the good cop bad cop game, right? We cool. No, we good. We got to fight these racist Republicans. At the end of the day, they both want to uphold white supremacy. They just have different tactics.
That's it. That's it right there.
Because at the end of the day, it's a balancing act of how can we extract and exploit and oppress and give them just enough not to revolt, neutralize that black anger, like dude was saying.
Yeah, they're doing a bad job of it now.
They are now because we on the scene. We waking up. We got our apparatus of communication. We're codifying. We could do things that we couldn't do before. We can communicate. I'm talking to you. You're in Denver. You know what I'm saying? You can let me know in real time what's going on in Denver right now.
Yep, I really could.
It don't matter if the news covers it and all that. No, we can have people tapping in from New Jersey, from small town North Carolina or Iowa or Nebraska or Kentucky or Bumpkin Town, Mississippi. We can all be communicating, and then we see that we have a commonality in our struggle. But now we can provide resources or at least get our own narrative out or communicate and get each other up to speed of what's going on, and we can get on the same page. And because of the digital age, we can support each other in different ways instantly, no matter where we're at. That's something that we couldn't do in the past.
It's the digital grapevine.
Right. Digital grapevine. It's the wire.
Exactly. So that's exactly what we've been doing. I mean, we've been around for what? Over 10 years combined. So it's like, how can we continue to build the network that we already have established? And we have correspondents in all these different states and cities getting the message out. That's how the previous platform I was on, Mile High News, got started. Because we were like, look, we need a voice out here. We ain't got no voice in radio. Besides coon ass Jeff, the Boule, we don't have no voice out here. So we started our own platforms here in Denver alone. And then we linked up with other people that started their own platforms in their locales. So yeah, we got a good little network going. And that's what Black Truth said. He said you don't need a whole bunch of people. You just need enough.
Right.
That's qualified and on code. And he got that from John Hendrick Clark. As quiet as his cow, I believe he was FBA. He wasn't Pan-African. He was FBA. And Malcolm, he said, look, y'all don't want to talk about being Aboriginal. So y'all don't want to have that conversation. Because they trying, like Tariq said, they trying to make us generic Africans.
Right.
Like, our people's been here for centuries.
Right.
We
Not to mention there's always been representation over here.
We the only one
time.
champion for blackness. Outside of here, there ain't no champion for blackness, especially in the so-called mama continent. In Kibalan, they can't even get on cover in there.
Let's be real, yeah.
And they expect us to be towing the line and waving the flag for Pan-Africanism where it's not being reciprocated. So
Right.
That's why we're delineating, and we're building a network.
It's a necessary step, and in time, if they're really sincere about that, then they'll tap in. But they're going to tap in on our terms,
right?
In regards to how we do business in America, it ain't going to be on their terms.
No,
because we're the ones fighting this piece. Just like we're not going to try to make executive decisions on what they have to do in Niger or Nigeria or Haiti. It wouldn't be our place to tell them how they should get down when they know the nuances of their local politics. We're just going to support what they say is right. As long as this goes with the bigger agenda, then we're cool with it. So they got to tap in with that same type of mentality, or it ain't going to work. We're going to just have to delineate and stay with ourselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look, even when it comes to the term white here in America, they weren't all together at first.
No, they weren't.
The Anglos wasn't fucking with the Irish or the German or the Polish or the Italians. It took time for them to get to that point.
Yeah, until they got under that white umbrella.
Until they knew that they had to for survival.
Yeah.
And to maintain their dominance. So now we're saying, look, we're delineating. We tried the kumbaya, we're delineating. Now, when y'all want to fall in line properly, then we could be on that all one big black.
Right.
But if you don't recognize, you know what I'm saying, because they think that they're Haitian first or Dominican first, and you know, it ain't really the white people ain't really the problem, and we can't work with that. If you don't realize that the subjugation has been because of skin color. See, like we're cool with saying we're just black. They weren't cool with that. They had to bring in their tribe and nationality before the black. But we're saying, look, man, the reason why they did you like that is because these are Europeans. These are pan-Europeans at this point.
That's what they are.
They're pan-Europeans. They split up the pie. They work together to oppress.
That's why they were crying so hard when the Queen died.
Right. What you mean, like the Nigerians and Jamaicans and shit?
Yeah.
I know that's wild. That's wild.
All the subjects was crying their eyes out. Them tethers was bawling.
Right. That's wild.
Today I was like, yeah, good riddance to that evil bitch. She exploited so much out of Africa. It ain't even funny.
Right. And they're crying over her. But then again, think about it like this. Even how did Haiti go wrong? They got rid of the writers, then they start trying to make deals with the devil.
Yep. After they got rid of their coons.
After they got rid they got rid of the coons before the war, but then after all the war, they got rid of the writers.
Oh yeah, that's what they did after Ferguson out here. Remember all the activists started dropping dead off in Ferguson.
Yep. So we got a new revamping of the struggle. It continues. It's getting bigger. It's getting better. It's getting more refined.
Right.
People are mad that we're delineating. They're saying that we're hating. We ain't hating. We're doing what's necessary for survival.
Exactly. Self-preservation.
Right.
The first law of nature. But
because believe me, look, you think like when Mexicans or Nigerians or whoever, when they're having their powwows about resources and things that they need, they're not adding us to that. They're not saying like, yeah, but don't forget, we got to also help out the blacks. They're not doing that. They're doing for self.
That's why CARICOM does not include FBA.
And it shouldn't. That's cool. But don't expect us to share all of our shit and to make plans that involve everybody, man. Just understand game is game.
And now, since we've been telling them to sue their colonizer, they starting to do it.
We're starting to do what?
Sue their colonizer. Like Guyana, where old boy did the Johnstown shit.
Guyana.
Guyana, French Guiana, yep.
Yeah. But do you see FBAs telling them to leave those poor people alone and just work hard and racism don't exist and that's the past, leave it alone?
No. And since our tape has been off for all these other groups for the past 4 years, they don't know what the hell to do. They're not used to this. So we got to get these used to this shit. They need us.
Hey, I was on. You heard of Chaotic Truth?
Yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah, so I pulled up to one of his live streams. He pulled up to a Tariq Nasheed space like a week ago or something.
Yeah, I think I tapped into that one.
Yeah, so then after that, he came up on my radar because of the algorithms, because I didn't know who he was. But the next thing you know, the next day I see he pops up. I'm not even subscribed to him, but you know the algorithms. So I seen him. He was having a little whatever, telling FBA to tap in. So I tapped in for a good hour and a half. I guess he went like 7 hours or something. He was trying to run off of that little Tariq Nasheed because he was just on the live space, whatever. But I was like, I pulled up and he's just, he's trolling and all this shit. And I'm like, look, man, because he kept on questioning the black conventions, like we're just making shit up.
Yeah, that's what them stone cold white supremacists, they'll do that in a New York minute. Those are the ones that be trying to get our pages shut down and shit.
Yeah, this dude's Nigerian though.
It don't matter.
I know.
Look at Michael Black's son.
I know.
Ain't he Nigerian?
So so he started questioning like, I should pull it up. I planned on cutting it and putting it on here, man. But so he started questioning like, basically all the black inventors, did they really do that and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I told him like, look, man, like I get why you don't believe that we're capable of doing these things because you guys haven't created shit that has changed the world.
No.
Y'all ain't came up with anything innovative for thousands of years. So you can't fathom that we're able to do that without it being because of white people.
Right. That's what, and they're the majority.
And they're the majority where they're at. And they start talking about how they got their own this and that. And I'm like, look, and it's like, look, the fact that you guys have been free and liberated for this much time and you've been on your own to do shit, you still ain't got it together, man.
Right. After all this time and quietness is kept, we're older. FBA is older than a lot of those nations in Cubalon right now. We are older than a lot of them because remember, a lot of them didn't get their so-called independence until the 60s.
Yep, 60s and 70s.
So we've been around much longer than that.
Technically, yeah. Really? Yeah. When you put it like that. A lot of those are newer countries. A lot of those aren't like pure unadulterated tribes and shit. Those are, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, those are artificial borders by way of the Berlin Conference.
And artificial tribes at that. Because they just, you know what I'm saying? It's not like a thoroughbreed tribes with their culture. And then speaking of culture, what is their culture? They always question in our culture, what's their culture?
Their culture is selling out.
What do they have popping that the whole world taps into?
Besides the minerals under the ground, nothing.
That's not culture though.
Right. Right. They don't have no
That's resources. That shows their lack of culture that they let other people tap into them and take them, even though they're the majority. Look, if we were 95%, if FBA was 95% of American population,
yeah,
how many police officers would be pulling up to us talking tough?
That's a good question, especially after what happened to Tyree Nichols.
Do you think? Hold on. No, what I'm saying is, do you think a white police officer, if this country was 95% us, do you think a white police officer would have the audacity to perform any act of injustice against us?
No.
Hell no. They'd be moving around. They'd probably be getting low. They'd probably be trying to get up out of here if we were 95% of the population. Let's be real.
Hell yeah. That reminds me of another movie called The White
They would
Man.
not feel safe. They would not feel safe just walking down the street telling, like in South Africa, telling niggas that they can't come to this resort. This is only for whites. What?
Yeah, them damn boards like the Musty Man.
What? So no, you can't. They can't come over here and start dictating how we get down and telling us what we should be doing. No, you don't got the right for that, man.
But they're a bunch of fleeing damn tethers. They too busy with their track shoes on, running the take. Oh yeah, you should play that video of that tether bitch talk about I cuss come over here to take. I ain't come here to build with y'all kata. I just come to get what I need. I take.
Hold on, I think I seen that on. Yeah, but really, they ain't even on code with each other though.
No, because they got that tribalism. They got too much tribalism.
Hey, that yeah, they'll listen. They'll pop the inner tube when they get here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that one YouTube channel that I was on that I was debating that dude. I be seeing him posting. He be posting anti-immigrant, pro-Trump, MAGA. I'm like, nigga, if they get rid of all these immigrants, you might be going too.
Well, that's what somebody was saying. But how they gonna deport us? We're the foundation of the country.
They can't deport us, but they could be. But they can say like, hey, if your grandparents weren't born here, we're shipping you back. We're going back 2 generations. They could do that.
They could do that, but that don't include FBA because our family.
I know exactly. That's my point. So these tellers that will come here now, they're jumping on the MAGA tip, or they're just because they want to be anti-black. They want to associate with the anti-black. So they're jumping on that MAGA. Look, just like that white boy told Myron Gaines, look, man, when we really do what we want to do, you got to go too.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
That was hilarious. Yeah, fuck Myron Gaines. You know, they demonetized his ass. And if you do videos, it raises you up in the algorithm.
He's crashing out. Look, he's willing to lose his money and crash out just for acceptance.
And he's from Sudan.
Yeah. Okay, here's one. Check this one out. Let's check this one out. Check out these two.
Black, I'm African. No. I came in a plane, they came in chains. Yeah, I'm passenger in there. I'm not black, I'm African.
Is that not black?
No. It's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? I came in a plane, they came in chains. Yeah, I'm passenger in their cargo. I'm not black, I'm African.
See that? Yeah. Hold on, let me see. I'm trying to find something though.
Yeah, I had it up on my Twitter too. I have to scroll for it.
Yeah, that's how they trying to get in. They trying to get in the game on some, you know what I'm saying? And we don't like them. We're not the same. But you think that white girl doesn't think that? I mean, come on, man. Let's just be real. He's trying to impress. He's willing to throw niggas under the bus, and they're looking at him like, hey, it's not. We know you guys are different, but we don't like you more.
We just see y'all as one big nigga.
We see you as one nigga, and we might understand you have lineage differences, but we don't like you more. It's not like because you're straight from Africa, we think highly of you. That's bullshit. At the end of the day, they'll probably turn on them first because they know they're more vulnerable. Like you said, they can't deport us. They can't get us out of here. This is our shit. They can get them out of there. So these dudes are doing these games that's really gonna backfire. And these are kind of shit that we tried to tell them, like, hey, I don't think you understand how white supremacy works over here, man.
Right. Like this broad. Oh my God. Joylis Reed. She's from Denver too.
I think Angela Rice, she's from Seattle.
Yeah, she was just here last week. Angela Rice with tomato on the side.
Yeah. She's from Seattle. me see.
R.I.P. to John Amos.
Yeah, shout out R.I.P. to brother John Amos. He was a real. I was trying to. Oh, okay. Look at this right here. That's Sudan right there.
Yeah.
Let's see what Myron. That's a rite of passage ritual, by the way, in Sudan. That's how you become a man. You have to bathe in cow pee. No, I mean I'm not even clowning. That's real.
Hell no.
Yeah. So imagine us listening to that clown. Imagine us listening to a nigga like that. But let's hear what he's saying real quick.
Okay.
He's one of those crash outs. He's ready to crash out for White Zaddy.
Bro, reparations are for fucking retards, okay? Black people need to just stop being lazy. You're not gonna get a fucking handout, okay? We're not gonna give you your fucking reparations because guess who's gonna have to pay for that shit? The middle class is gonna have to pay for it. Yeah, let's keep it 1,000. You niggas get your reparations. What you gonna do with it? You gonna buy a bunch of some Jordans, some fucking drugs, some weed.
They're gonna buy some weed.
Yeah.
Yo, nigga.
Yeah.
What good,
You gotta buy some Fendi. You gotta buy some bullshit.
Buy some guns.
You gotta buy some guns.
Rob
like,
niggas.
Yeah. Like you niggas are.
Yeah, definitely some guns, homie. Definitely some of those.
You're gonna spend the money and invest.
Go back to jail.
Yeah, some of us are gonna be investing. You best
Or
believe
y'all
that.
gonna do criminal shit.
Yep, 100%.
Come on, man. Let's keep it $1 million. Let's keep it all the way $1 million.
Buy some rims. Oh yeah, look at that shit spin, nigga.
But here's the thing, though. If we did that, what's it to them?
It ain't got nothing to do with them motherfuckers.
Let's say we wanted to buy the new Harriet Tubman edition Cadillac Escalade with our reparations. What does it make a difference to them?
They all pocket watching, all up in our shit. Get you some business.
Right. What do they do?
Business.
Yeah,
look at that shit spin.
Fucking stupid, bro.
I'm telling you, bro.
Niggas, man. The nigga shit, man. Ooh, just give me a handout, man.
Listen.
Yeah, let me
I tried being a nigga for like 6 months. That shit retarded, nigga. That shit retarded, bro. Yo, listen, man.
Big monkey chains and all that.
Hold up. Something else I shared on here. I want to see if I can find it real quick. What's this right here? Shoot up line there.
I wish you could find that Tether video. The other
Which one?
Tether. The sister that was like, I come to take. She was from Uganda.
Yeah, I seen that one too. I don't know if I got that. Let me see.
I'm not gonna do nothing specifically for black people. No. Yeah,
you already know what that was. Let me see. Man, where's the one I wanted to? Where's my retweets? I thought I retweeted. That's one. Yeah, that one kind of blew up, but I was kind of wrong on that one.
Yeah. It was way better than that shit they played at the Olympics. That was a travesty.
Yeah. Ooh, white girl.
Yeah, from Australia.
Anyway, I can't find it.
Oh, they still had that Kendrick. I was at Dewan, and him and Drake were in the same team. Shit, I gotta scroll on mine then.
What you got? You got something? Yeah, you can share something. If you find something, you can share something.
No, I'm saying I'll have to scroll on my Twitter, on my X, to find. Yeah. I think I found it though. I typed in Tether and it came up.
Yeah. Yeah, so man, that Chicago mayor be on that bullshit, huh?
Yeah, he's a trip. He's a trip. He literally let open up the city for the damn illegals. Like he finished. He continued where Lightfoot left off, because Lightfoot back in like 2020, 2019 was like, come on in the Windy City, we'll take you. Come on in, because it was the first black mayor of Chicago.
Who? Lightfoot? Light Dyke?
Harold Washington.
No.
He's the one that came up with the sanctuary city status.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't until Lightfoot that they really started enforcing that shit. Because when Emmanuel, one of the brothers that was the mayor, went to prison or something for fraud, he wasn't really on that sanctuary city shit. It wasn't until Lightfoot got in 19 where they was heavily pushing that shit. And it was right when we were starting to demand our reparations, Jay.
Right.
Like, same time, it was like, look, we're going to demand some attention. Oh, really now? Oh, that's what y'all going to do? Okay, here's what we're going to do. Jabby jab and invasion.
Right. And those be the first ones talking about we don't deserve reparations.
Yeah, the ones that already got their handouts. They already got their handouts and hands up.
Yeah, I'm saying the immigrants. They be quick. I've been seeing the Mexicans say it. Of course, we've seen the Nigerians and Caribbeans say it.
Yeah.
Niggas don't need reparations and this and that.
Well, I've been hearing the Mexicans talking about we need reparations too. What the hell does y'all build?
For what?
Y'all didn't even build Mexico. Like, what the hell?
They came here willingly.
Right.
And the fact that they don't have the states they have, they made those deals.
Mm-hmm.
They made those deals.
Yeah, they did. Like LULAC. LULAC said, no, we don't want to be anything other than white. We want to be white. They did that in the 1930s. Ain't no black and brown. Ain't no black and yellow. Ain't none of that.
Yeah, you seen what happened with that
affirmative action? Yeah, that shit was hilarious. I was on Torian Rain shit the other day talking about that shit. I was like, that's karma right there. That's some good old get back.
Let me see if I can pick some. Let me see if I can find something about that real quick.
Yeah, now the enrollment is decreasing. It's backfiring on y'all. I said, they was doing all that belly aching before. What was that damn broad's name that got killed?
Okay.
She got a brother killed, Dana. She damn near got a brother killed in New York, or was it in San Francisco? Talking about the blacks, they the ones that's benefiting, and that's harming us Asians.
I know, Alex, you're on the other side of this. You were hoping that the Supreme Court would move in the direction that it did today. Why do you think that this is the right way to move forward on this?
I'll put the copy right back up.
Well, I think this is a win for students all across America, because we shouldn't be judging students based on their race when we're deciding who gets into what schools. I think that I believe that your previous guest is mistaken in this regard, because I think that by getting rid of affirmative action, now we look at the individual student and what they've accomplished, and we can look at what barriers they've overcome. But we view them as an individual first and foremost, as opposed to just viewing them as a blob in an amorphous larger racial group, as opposed to just under this new system, we get to view students for who they are as individuals. And I think that's a much better way to go forward on this topic.
You heard Bumi's point there, though, that this now forces students, if they want the school to take into account race in some fashion or form, that they're going to have to now write about this.
Right. Well, I think that fundamentally, right, for most people, race is just a characteristic. It's sort of the way that your body manifests. I think that for some students that does play a role in how they experience the world, but for some students it doesn't. And I think that allowing them that option to express that in an essay, for instance, affords much more freedom, because race doesn't affect everybody the same way. And to just have a blanket policy where everybody's race is considered no matter what, I don't think that's appropriate, because it impacts different people in different ways. I find that a lot of these arguments oftentimes in favor of affirmative action are somewhat incongruous, because I've heard a lot of people that say, like, hey, affirmative action, it's a good way to overcome past discrimination. But in my experience, as an Asian American, I'm not exactly sure how that works for me, because it's much more difficult for Asian Americans to gain admittance to schools than for white students, for instance. And I don't think that you'll see in the past any instance of Asians discriminating against whites. So for me, that sort of just falls flat. I'm going to Brown next year, and I'm happy that the admissions officers at Brown took me for whatever reason. But it does make me feel a little bit uncomfortable knowing that in that admissions office, when they were deciding whether they were going to accept me, reject me, that they might have been considering my race, because I think that that's not something that I can control or that anyone can control. And I think that it's unfair to judge someone based on that when there are really so many better ways to judge.
Well, he's capping.
He's capping. And welcome
they thought that this was going to work out for him because they tried to act like we were the ones that was benefiting from the affirmative action.
Right. All right. Where the little violin at?
Yeah. Hold up.
Students based on their character, based on their accomplishments.
Let me find some backfire shit. Because they singing a different tune now, huh?
Uh-huh.
See, then they was writing for let's end it. They thought it was only going to affect us, that they're the ones that deserve to be there. And we're like, listen, picture us getting a job. I've never got a job because I was black. I've never got any type of benefits that anything that benefited me. They've never like, oh yeah, you can get into college because you're they don't do that with us.
No, they don't.
That doesn't happen.
Nope, it doesn't.
It might happen for homosexuals. It might happen for white women. Look, I used to work for this construction company, and there was a white dude who owned it, but it was listed as a minority company because even though the white dude really owned it, his wife owned it on paper. So he was able to bid as a minority contractor. I didn't really uncover all this until like later on, like when I really understood the game a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I remember because he had they highlighted us in like the Carpenters Quarterly magazine, right? Like a little magazine for carpenters or whatever. When I was reading it, because I was in it, and I was reading it, and at the end it said, whoop-de whoop-de whoop, a minority-owned company. I was like, what? A minority-owned company? Oh, that's because it's in his wife's name.
Yeah.
His wife's a white woman, but she's a woman, so minority. So they were able to bid on contracts that's supposed to be for like, you're supposed to have a certain amount of minority contractors on certain jobs.
Yes.
So they was able to say, well, not black. It didn't say you have to have a black contractor.
It said minority.
It said minority.
Yeah.
So guess what? If you're gay, you're a minority. If you're a woman, even though women ain't really minorities, are they? I think women are the majority of the population, but when you break it down to white women, I guess, okay, whatever. But that's how they ran the game. So these Asians thought that they were going to get us out the paint. It was going to help them out, like they're really getting in there because of their great brilliance. Next thing you know, they're down.
I say karma. I say
Asian
this
enrollment down in Ivy League colleges.
Great news. As Sabaka would say, great news. Great news.
Okay, hold up. Asian. Look at this. Despite the end of affirmative action following last year's Supreme Court decision, enrollment in both Yale and Princeton dropped for Asian Americans. Bloomberg reports enrollment dropped to 24 from 30% the previous year at Yale. So they're getting they fucked themselves.
Yep. You played yourself. Then.
Played yourself. We knew it wasn't. That's why we didn't really trip. We was like, whatever.
Right.
We knew it wasn't. We knew what was gonna happen. It's gonna backfire on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we was calling it then. Like, yeah.
Just like these, and that's another thing that like these tellers try to say. Like when I was on that Chaotic Truths YouTube channel, and that other one that Set and Key Media, they always say stuff like they're doing better than us.
Oh, the tellers.
Yeah, why are we doing better? But you're not doing better than us, really. Like you call it better than us because you came over here and did some regular shit.
Exactly.
Like you came over here and you got a job, dog. That's regular shit. That's not better than you know what I'm saying? That's regular.
Right.
Like if I was gonna move to Nigeria or Jamaica, I'm not moving there just to work at a warehouse.
Right.
I could do that here.
Right.
I'm not moving across the world just to do some regular shit, just so I could pack boxes at Amazon or serve drinks at a restaurant or something. And nothing wrong with any of those things, but I'm just saying, like, you don't get to say that you're doing better than us because you guys aren't doing better than us. You come here and you have opportunities you didn't have there. You're doing better than you would be doing at home.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? But most of us are. No matter how poor we are, we're probably doing better than their average villager where they're from.
Right. And
because we could be poor in America and still have an iPhone.
Right. That part.
We still have running water, electricity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you're doing better than you would be doing, man. Don't act like, because he tried to tell me his YouTube channel, because of his YouTube channel has more subscribers, he's being successful and doing better. Like, nigga, you don't stop. To you, that's doing great because from where you're from, you know what I'm saying, maybe that's something to aspire for survival. But the money that you're making, even off of a 10,000, 20,000 subscriber base, that's not money.
Right.
That's like part-time job money, maybe.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe. Right. Maybe. So that's not, you're not lapping niggas and just doing so great because of that, dog. You gotta set your standards higher, or just quit going out of your mind to undermine us so much that you want to flex dumbass shit. Like that's how much contempt they have for us.
That's remember who started Wall Star? They had that.
Was Haitian or Nigerian or some shit? Jamaican?
Yeah, Q. Yeah, he was Jamaican.
Jamaican. Yeah. Right. Got rich off of just showing the underbelly of our society. Normalizing that.
Yep, they just go right along with the exploitation of us.
Right. Now imagine if we did that. Imagine if we came up with a platform where all we do is show their janky little villages and struggle huts.
Yeah, they wouldn't like that.
They wouldn't like that at all. If we showed them trying to filter dirty ass water.
Right.
To drink. They wouldn't like that. But we wouldn't even do that. We tried to uphold their shit. When we were being told that they're just all dirty, greasy flies on their shit, we would try to look for the good.
Right.
And bring that out as representation.
Yeah.
Didn't we do that?
We did it.
Yeah.
And it was not reciprocated.
So yeah, they can't try to act like we ain't, you know what I'm saying?
No, we put a battery in all those revolutionaries' backs.
That's a fact. Even a lot of white people and Asian people.
Yep.
We put a battery in theirs. Look, man, I had a conversation with the founder of the Black Panthers in Seattle.
Oh, who?
The Dixons, Elmer Dixon, Aaron Dixon.
Okay.
Right? They're the ones that founded the Black Panther Party in the 60s here in Seattle, which was the first chapter outside of California.
Okay.
Right? And I've chopped it up with them plenty of times. And one time when I met up with him, he was like, "Yeah, man, I just got back from Ireland." I was like, "What the hell was you doing in Ireland?" He's like, "They have like every year they have this little thing for us over there." I'm like, "What?" Like, yeah, they have this little thing where they, they pay their respects to the Black Panther Party, man, and to the freedom fighters of the 60s. They got murals, they got all kinds of paintings and murals of us and shit because it inspired them because, the Irish and Scottish type of against the English wars that still kind of go on right now.
Yeah, they consider
they got their inspiration from us.
Yeah,
they got murals of Malcolm X and the Black Panther Party on their walls in Northern Ireland right now.
Wow, do they have them in Durban?
Huh?
Do they have them in Durban?
What?
Durban.
The city of Durban, you mean?
Yeah.
I want to say that's where it is. I want to say I think it's up there, Dublin, or it's somewhere in Northern Idaho. I can't remember the exact city, but it might be that. But he was just like, yo, they got murals and shit. They got, saying they respect us. They honor us every year. He goes out there every year.
To Ireland?
To Ireland.
Wow.
Because they pay homage.
Yeah, that's because they was considered the niggas of Europe.
Right. Well, and they was always fighting against the English, and they still are. So they tapped into what we did to be successful and adopted that. They got a Black Panther Party in India in their own language though, but it translates to Black Panthers, and they get it. They got it from us.
They must have some Kushites in there, because
whatever the case may be,
them Brahmins ain't on that type of time.
I'm pretty sure it's the darker ones, the ones that what I'm saying, because they have the caste system out there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it's like 4 different castes.
Right. So it's probably the darker ones that were like, hey, just kind of like in America, the whoop-de-whoop. So they, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of those West African and even some of those South African countries, they also peep game from us.
Oh yeah. Look at
the there was a little period of time where they were riding with us pretty tough for a minute.
Yeah, in the
something
60s.
must have in the 60s, 70s, yeah, then something must have happened, and you know what I mean.
All of these groups were riding with us supposedly during that time, and then look what happened. It's supposed to be Hispanic History Month or some shit. These mugs was trying to talk about how they were so down with us, but they're only down. They only came down when they got something beneficial out of the civil rights movement, and that was minority. They classify us as minority, and they get free goodies and giveaways, unearned benefits.
Well, not only that, the ones that they let over here from like the Caribbean and from Africa, they only let the weak breeds over for the most part. They vet them pretty good.
They vet the hell out of them. Like customs.
Yeah, and then they put them through an indoctrination. They do that for Asians too. I used to mess with this Cambodian chick.
Oh, okay.
And she told me her story about how they had to trek through Vietnam to Cambodia to get to Thailand, and then in Thailand they put them up for like a month, and they would teach them Christianity, and they would make sure that that her dad didn't fight for the wrong side, even though he was dead. Make sure that they didn't have that revolutionary spirit in them. Introduce them to Jesus, give them all these different things that makes them think that the white folks are saviors. They vet them.
Yeah, that missing there.
They vet them, and then they would indoctrinate them before they let them here. They do that for Asians. They do that for Africans. They do that for Caribbeans, I'm assuming.
Yep.
So the riders ain't coming here. It's the sucker niggas.
Yep.
So that's why when they get here, they're so they feel so blessed to be here that they fall in line with the white supremacists because they saved them.
Yeah.
Even though they're the ones that bombed their countries to hell, which is why they have to come here, they feel like they saved them. So if they say that we're bad, then we're bad.
And we know it.
And then they get like, think about this. Think about all the different things these Democrats have been giving these immigrants the last couple of years.
Yeah, they done drowned out FEMA. They done emptied out FEMA. FEMA ain't
Then they come here and they be like, How come y'all niggas ain't whoop-de-whoop? But it's like, yo, they gave y'all shit.
Right, that's why.
So you can feel like you have a one-up.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? And you still basically are just average. They gave y'all shit.
Yep.
If we had that same leverage, we'd be past even the white folk. As far as that's why the reparations conversation gets delicate.
Yep. They don't
You let us get on board. Yeah, okay. Some of us are gonna fuck off the money. So, okay, that's their business. But what about those who don't? You already know what it is.
That's the ones they're worried about.
That's the ones they worried about. They don't care if we gave it back. That would just help the economy. They would just get it right back. They'd be okay with that.
Yeah, it's just a stimulus.
What about those of us that's going to buy land and start industry? We're going to ramp up our media presence. Our media apparatus is going to get more sophisticated.
Right.
Our land ownership and ability to have generational wealth is going to increase.
Right.
Our ability to tap into industry and take our business ideas and link them up internationally and scale them.
Right.
Our innovation, our engineering spirit is going to manifest itself. We're going to be able to, you know what, we could do. And this is why the Pan-Africanism would work if they was on code.
Yeah, if it was on code, it would work.
Because we'd be able to tap into Zimbabwe like, yo, you guys got the diamond mines, you got the you got the gold. Why don't you sell them to us on the low? We start this jewelry shit popping.
Right.
You guys got the cocoa, you got the coffee, you got that coltan and that smart metal that's used for touch screens. Now we can start manufacturing our own TVs and computers and phones and shit.
Well, that's
and
all.
we'd be doing good business. You don't have to sell the De Beers all the diamonds for the low. Won't you, let us compete with them.
Right.
You ain't got to sell that coffee to Starbucks. Niggas out here could start a coffee company. You ain't got to sell your chocolate to the Swiss company. Look, we could start our own little confection companies and cocoa and shit like that. We could be controlling the game.
Right.
We could all be controlling the game if they were on code. That's what we were thinking with the Pan-Africanism.
Yeah, that's
what we were supporting for 100 years. And over 100 years, they didn't reciprocate that shit.
Exactly.
Because if they did, we'd be in a different situation right now.
Well, yeah, we'd be in Wakanda right now.
We'd be in Wakanda. We would have built Wakanda in this bitch. We'd have Atlantas all over.
Right.
Black Wall Street would be popping everywhere.
Yeah, and that's how it is when we left to our own devices.
That's how it was. Like you understand that during the Great Depression, the black cities weren't doing bad.
No, they were not.
They were doing great because we circulated our money so much and we took care of all of our needs to the point to where even though they may have been starving outside of our communities, we was good. The black cities were good. Oklahoma was good. Black Wall Street was good. Besides the bombing,
right?
These black towns were thriving during the Depression. This is why they even Pretty Boy Floyd tried to rob a black bank in a black city in Oklahoma in 1932.
Mm.
I said tried to rob because he wasn't successful, but he tried.
Okay. I think I heard that before.
Yeah, Boley, Oklahoma, 1932.
Okay.
Pretty Boy Floyd. Okay, we got a comment here. Trey Ferg, bro, for the very reasons you just mentioned, to change your family's future, reparations will never be given. No ninjas can have access to that. Life is what they say and do. It's a threat more so than any other group of people. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because we're foundational to this country. Mm-hmm. We know how to maneuver, and we've shown that we could be successful with left to our own.
Right.
So, like imagine right now if our ancestors were compensated for building this country, what that would mean. Right. That would mean that there would be homes, because remember, generational wealth is most common with home ownership being passed down to one generation to the other. That's the most common way for generational wealth to be handed down is home ownership, right?
Yep.
Your parents leave you in a house, you leave it to your kids. Then all that time you're using the leverage of that home ownership to take equity out the house, which you could use to start businesses or you could use for different things to buy more homes or whatever, and you're building your wealth.
Right.
Most millionaires are made from home ownership. That's the most common way. So if we were compensated and we didn't have these rules that were rigged against us, and we were compensated for our innovative ideas and the contributions that we made building this country, we would be of the richest in this nation right now.
Right.
We would be the controller of industries right now.
Yeah.
We would have a political sophistication and empowerment and representation right now. I mean, even now, collectively, we would be a top 10 nation wealth-wise. The amount of wealth that we collectively have would put us in the top 10 nations. So imagine if we were actually compensated for the work that we did, and if there weren't laws against us owning homes and patents and innovating and creating, you know what I'm saying, industry, and participating in industry.
We would be in Wakanda right now.
We would be in Wakanda right now. We would be the ones that are doing very well with a few white people that are doing okay, and you know what I'm saying. We would be the ones. We would be them. We would be the privileged class.
Yeah.
Economically, education wise, it would be off the chart. We would. I heard Tariq say this, and I agree 100%.
Yeah.
We would actually be more technologically advanced right now as a society.
We would. We really would.
The technology took a down. It went backwards when Europeans took over.
Mm-hmm.
Because they used their ingenuity for war and destruction. We used ours to build a better civilization.
Right.
Like listen, Charles Page created the first airplane model before the Wright brothers.
Yep.
It was patented before the Wright brothers. How the hell does a slave or somebody born in the end of slavery who didn't know how to read teach himself to read and have enough genius to build a flying machine? And more advanced than the flying machines at the time, because the flying machines at the time that they were working on, they didn't have the ability to steer or have any propulsion to change direction. His did.
Yeah, we got.
How you do that? That's a genius we were able to tap into.
Right.
So imagine left unadulterated where we be at right now. Imagine Black Wall Street never got bombed and all the ill shit never happened to all the hundreds or scores of cities that we built.
Right.
Atlanta would be nothing compared to those cities right now.
No.
So that's the threat. Just to make the point of Trey Ferg. You're right. It comes down to competition. That's what racism really is.
Yep.
Competition of the races.
It's a group sport too.
It's a group sport. We got to start playing it as a team, and that's what this delineation is all about. That we're recognizing who our team is.
Right.
Doesn't mean that you can't be part of the team per se because you're Puerto Rican or Dominican or Haitian. It means that if you're not part of the team, we can't really fuck with you.
Period.
Period. We can't let you just associate with us because of your skin tone, but really you're trying to undermine everything we're doing and sabotage what we're doing, and you're really the first line of defense for white supremacy. We can't have that.
Especially we already got FBAs like that. We
already got our own like that we got to deal with. Right. And we call them out and we deal with them. So how you think we're not going to deal with somebody who's not even from our lineage? You're not even from our nuclear family, dog.
Right.
We accept you as family, but all relatives ain't family when you're acting like that. You're our relative, but you want to be our family, then act like a family.
Right.
Act like you're part of our family.
And get the hell on code or get left.
Yeah, or get left. Get it right or get left. So yeah, that's the resistance for the reparations. Because trust me, reparations would actually be better for the whole country. The whole country would benefit off of us getting reparations.
Yep.
Even those of us who would be knuckleheads and just waste our money, that would still help the economy.
It'd just be a stimulus package.
There'd be a stimulus package for the economy. Those of us who are going to build businesses in the industry, that would still benefit and serve the general population.
Right.
the innovation and the abilities and the resources to be able to do certain things. Like, for instance, if the Patterson twins had the ability to scale their automobile to mass production, that would have helped. It wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? It would have been competition for Ford or whatnot, but it would have still helped overall.
Shout out to George Washington Carver.
Shout out to George Washington Carver, because I'm going to show you exactly what he did. Watch this. Check this out. Hemp car 1930. Check this out. I'm going to show you something real quick. Here it is. Bam. Here's a 30-second clip. Let me show you this real quick, man. This is George Washington Carver's creation right here.
Hold on, Jay.
Yep.
Amongst the thousands of products made from hemp, one of the most extraordinary is Henry Ford's plastic car. Built in 1941, it contained cellulose fibers derived from hemp, sisal, and wheat straw. The plastic was lighter than steel, yet could withstand 10 times the impact without denting.
Look at that. You see that? That is 100% hemp. I don't know if it's 100%, but it's made of hemp fibers. You hear what they said? They said it's lighter than the average car, stronger than the average car. It ran on biofuel. I've done all the research on this, and the reason why I know that George Washington Carver created it is because when I was in college, I did an essay paper on industrial hemp. That's how I got to know this stuff. So George Washington Carver built a car for Henry Ford that was made out of hemp. It was fully biodegradable. You could use biofuels. It was lighter. It was stronger. It was a better car. The reason why they couldn't mass produce it was because of the Marijuana Tax Act, passed in part by the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, and others that would have lost money. The steel industry, rubber industry, they would have lost a lot of money. So they passed the federal act that made cannabis federally illegal, because it used to not be.
Right.
So let me see what Trey is saying. He said that's the tricky part for young adults now. Both men and women have to have one voice. Too divided. Hold up, where you at?
Shabaka's gonna join you real quick. Or
Too
join us.
divided. All generals and no soldiers. Okay. And they said they already know this. That is why it doesn't get discussed or tabled in Congress. He was one of the greatest scientists of all time. I assume he's talking about George Washington Carver. What was you saying about Shabaka?
He's
pulling up.
Might be joining us.
All right. So yeah, that's the whole fact. He was one of the greatest scientists. He was more than just peanut butter. I know that's what we learned in school. Peanut butter. That's a damn shame they didn't tell us about all the real stuff that he did, man. That was so much greater. I mean, peanut butter is great in itself. Don't get it twisted.
Right. He came up with the idea for the plant.
For what, the manufacturing plant?
Yep, because he said the plants used to talk to him.
Yeah. He said not like it talked like we talk, but yeah, basically it tapped into his soul. It's something. It was some kind of. He was in tune with the nature.
Yeah.
That's the hoodoo. That's the voodoo. That's the, you know what I'm saying, the root working.
Right. And they thought it was spooky.
They make it spooky because if we tap into these type of things, we're gonna do extraordinary things.
Right.
We're gonna do things that seem like they're supernatural.
Right.
That's the level of the game that they can't really tap into. It doesn't seem practical. It's metaphysical, meta-spiritual. It's in us. We don't even know what we really could do, man. I bet.
My people can't handle that good weed. Make them lose it, go crazy. Yep.
Yeah, because it probably makes them too like introspective. They start realizing what pieces of shit they are and how evil they are, and they can't really deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They don't really want to tap into that, because then they know that they should go John Brown if they have any kind of soul, you know.
Right.
But yeah, we had a lot of great scientists, man. And I think that we still have that. We're still there. We still have that. It doesn't get highlighted like it should. And I do believe that there's an element of us being disconnected. And I think this disconnection has been happening gradually and deliberately over the last generations and generations. They get us all mixed up in being, distracted by different things, and technology makes us more lazy intellectually and creative laziness to some degree, and all that kind of stuff. Hold up, we got Shabaka in the building. What's up?
Shabaka is in the background.
Shabaka.
Hey, how you doing, Jay?
What's going on, brother?
All right, okay, man. Sorry that you was putting on here tonight, man. Just time for a few minutes with you because I got to do Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced tomorrow morning.
All right.
Please, if you can. Okay, how
Yes,
are
sir.
you doing, Jay? How's your health, man?
It's good, man. I'm just getting a little fat, so I've been trying to work out again.
Okay, man. I appreciate because I've been spreading your name around, man, on what you're doing, man. Appreciate all the good work that you have been putting in, man. You know what I'm saying? Waking up these brain dead individuals, man. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the dump, as in human, you know what, and Kamala. Well, the only thing is, man, that if you and I has talked about it right along with Brother Paris, is that we got to start doing something for ourselves, economically, commercially, and what have you. Brother here says our greatest generation was the post-slavery era. More was created or invented during that time for us, by us. Okay, yeah, he's right. But the U.S. Patent Office has stole a lot of the ideas, just like the Federal Reserve had stole all the damn money from the Freedmen Bureau's bank. And then these bastards had the audacity to say that it was our fault. Oh, no, you colored folk don't know what you're doing and all that. And don't these clowns know, man, if it wasn't for us, they wouldn't have the concepts of trigonometry, mathematics, and bombing the dead, navigation, you see what I'm saying? Astronomy. It's because I know you're familiar with Dr. Ashwa Kwesi, or Brother Paris and Jay.
I've conversated with Brother Ashwa Kwesi before.
Man, if you can get him, man, if you can give me the hook up to him, man, I would love to have him on the show, man. And also too, Brother Che, I did reach out to Dr. Parks, man. Yeah, we do have a show scheduled, man. I'll give you the details on it, and we definitely appreciate the good doctor for getting with us. And she does have the introduction, body, and conclusion, because I heard from her on the email today. So I gave her, the format of the show, and so far it's a go. So I'm waiting on feedback with her. You know what I mean? And so then when we have the idiots, call in, and Jay, you witnessed me kick them off there. Actually, Jay, I got it from you because there was one show that you was doing, and some clown came up there, man, and disrespected you. And you said, man, get your ass up out of here. I ain't putting up with this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And I said, a man after my own heart. And you did, right? And the dude was an idiot. He wasn't contributing nothing. He just want to sit up there and get up there and babble and talk bullshit. At least we try to deal with facts.
Yeah. We had some of them white supremacists that would pull up here and there, and they would just start doing their dumb shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
But hey, shout out to Trey Ferg though for spitting that truth, man, and contributing to the conversation. Man. Shout out to Trey Ferg.
Okay,
and he said our great, like he said, the great. Let me respond to that last comment he put up there.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, man. I hate to have to entertain that we're not at our peak now, but if we're going to be honest with ourselves, then we have to say we are not utilizing the best of our potential like we did then. You're absolutely right. At that point in time, when you really put in perspective of what we went through and what we just came out of and what we were able to do, like there's no way we should have been able to do some of the things that we was doing in slavery or right after slavery. That should be a mathematical impossibility. It should be.
Sir.
It's, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that we did that, I can't argue against what you're saying. All I can say is hopefully now that we have our own communication apparatus, now that we have access to information like never before, we can spark a renaissance and a reawakening of that creative genius. and couple that creative genius with political power and even the ability to be able to, go there if we have to. You know what I'm saying? Like we got, we got people in the military. We have to be able to protect ourselves whenever we build. We have to remember that if we can't protect it, then it's not ours. So hopefully we can spark a new renaissance and a new reawakening of this right now. And that's why it's beautiful that, we got younger people that are ready to hold it down. You know what I'm saying? I know Brother Shay's a little bit younger.
Yes.
And, hopefully we keep that legacy going of people his age, and then the youngsters even younger than him tapping in. And I actually see it happen because I speak, because my daughter, my daughter's 18. She's on code. She understands the delineation. She understands all that stuff. She's not an outspoken person as far as on her. She's not outspoken as of now, like to be a leader of thought or whatever, talking and articulating. But we do have the youth that is tapping in. The youth are tapping in. They got their own little movement that they're doing. They got their TikToking, spreading knowledge. They got all these different things. So we potentially we can reawaken. You know what I'm saying? Resurrection of the mentally dead. Right?
Yes, sir.
We can get back on back to business, and I believe that we will.
Oh yeah, man. I got all the faith in the world in y'all, man, because as you know, Jay, like I tell Brother Parrish all the time, man, I'm on my way out. Now, what do I mean on my way out? Just off the natural law of biophysics. And I cannot go before our ancestors with my head held high, not knowing that I did not do my job right, is because you got all these stupid, sick-ass motherfuckers going out there talking about, well, he ain't no man, he's a woman. Man, get the fuck out of here with that.
Right.
5 o'clock shadow talking about he a woman. Shoving ketchup up his rectum, talking about he's having a menstrual cycle. Man, that is an insult to the sanctity of womanhood. That is an insult to all our mothers, all our sisters, all our wives, all our nieces, all our daughters. See? Okay, and his brother was saying here, Trey Fig. Okay, that's what fathers bring to the table. Competence, confidence, courage. Yes, sir. You'll get no argument from me.
Yes.
That's undisputed truth right there. And also, too, Jay, I just want to bring this here to your attention. Around October the 30th, man, we are doing a podcast on Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced tribute, the 50th anniversary of the Rumble in the Jungle. As you know, Mr. Ali's story about where he had triumphed over all that adversarial shit that he went through. And he shut my man, George Foreman, down and regained the crown. You know what I mean? Because
you're going to be going into that? You're going to be going into the backstory and all that? You're going to be going into the history of that?
Yes, sir. Most definitely. I've lived through it, Jay.
I'm there. Yes, sir. I know you're a big. I know you're a big Ali fan. I know you're a boxing fan and Ali fan. Huh?
Ali Boumaier. Ali Boumaier. You see, the thing is, the legacy of Ali was the way he made his money. They didn't pay to see him win, man. Them crackers paid to see him get his ass whooped, and he disappointed them every time. And this is why I appreciate the fight that he had with Ernie Terrell, the battle of what's my name?
What's my name?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
He beat on that boy. He let him hang around because he wanted to just punish him.
Punish him and punish him and punish him. And as you know, Mr. Terrell did transition. From what I understand, research that I did do is that Mr. Terrell was related to Tammy Terrell and Jean Terrell of the Supremes. The singer. Yes. Wow. Okay, I believe he was their older brother. Yeah. But the legacy of Muhammad Ali, man, it will be forever etched in stone. And I don't care about these bums they got out here like Tyler Fury and these white hopes. They to get their asses whooped all the time. That's why, man, when I go through Reno, Nevada, man, on the 4th of July, man, I sit there and I listen to the wind and hear the story of long ago of Jack Johnson putting that work in. Everybody talking about they remembering James Earl Jones because he was Mufasa. I remember James Earl Jones and respected him as an actor when he did The Great White Hope.
Okay. Yeah, well, Ali was Ali. Listen, we don't call Ali the GOAT just because, to me, he is the best boxer. He is that, definitely. 100%.
Oh yes, sir.
I love watching this shit. He was a whole different kind of. He was a whole different kind of breed. And remember, his peak, he couldn't even fight during his peak. His peak year.
Yeah, that's just it though, Jay. I'm glad you picked that up. Ali never had a prime. You see what I'm saying? When they say, oh, Ali was in his prime, no, he wasn't. He never had a prime. And who knows how bad he would have been, man, you know, if he had one. My idol, saw him speak as a kid in the 70s, changed my life. Same hometown. Okay, well, shout out there to Louisville, Kentucky, indeed.
Louisville?
Yes, sir, Mr. Trey Ferg, yeah. Oh, yeah, Ali was
Hey,
bad.
but hold on. Let me finish
bad.
what I was saying about Ali. As great as a fighter as he was, and I would say he's the greatest that I've seen. That's not why we goat him. That's not the only reason he's legend. He's legend for his character as a person.
Right.
For standing on business, for sacrificing his career because of his principles. Right. For standing on that business, for using his platform as a way to advocate for our needs at a pivotal time.
Right.
That's why he's the legend.
Yes, sir. And then also, too, Jay, in that same era, we cannot forget John Carlos and Tommy Smith. In 1968, man, when they raised a Black Power salute, and Dr. Carlos said if he had to do it all over again, he would do it again. 1968 was a hell of a year, y'all.
Yeah, you're the only one on this line that remembers 1968 in real time.
Yeah, I was a kid. I was only 9 years old at the time, but it was so much going on, man. You know, the war in Vietnam, the Panthers, and another thing that Ali said that you can't take from him when he went to the University of Texas. You dirty draft dodging nigga, you black son bitch. He says, you know, it's very interesting that you all would call me that and prevent me from my livelihood. And if I'm afraid to die, tell you what, if I'm gonna die, I'm prepared to die fighting one of you in this room. You could hear a pin drop, man, in that room, Jay. You should have seen all them busters, man, you know, choke up in the ass. You know what I'm saying? The man said, I'm right here. Come on, let's get it on.
Yeah. They didn't want that smoke. They didn't want that smoke.
No, they did not want none of Ali's heat, man. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is about the brother, though, Jay, is that wherever he went, man, the people came out in droves. He's in Los Angeles one time up on the Sunset Strip, right? He's riding his Mercedes. He gets out the car. Somebody says, hey, Ali, there's Ali, man. And the people were stopping their cars. They were coming up to him. And one thing about that brother, he would stand there and he would sign all the autographs. And he would sign every one. He stood there for 2 hours, 3 hours, 8 hours one time. And then the L.A. County Sheriff had to come up there and tell him, well, Mr. Ali, no disrespect, sir. We love you and all that, man. But you're holding up our traffic. And this is rush hour in L.A. So
right. And listen, and completely safe.
Yes, sir.
Because he was beloved by the people. He didn't have to protect himself from the people. He was with the people.
Right.
Exactly.
That's greatness.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it is. And then turning back in my memory the pages of time, man, when he went to Africa, man, and he got off the plane. And all the people there, Ali Boumaye, Ali Boumaye, in droves, man, in droves. You know what I mean?
Zimbabwe, right? Was that Zimbabwe or where was that at?
Kinshasa.
No, sir. No. It was in Zaire or the Democratic Republic of Congo. Yeah, it was in Kinshasa, Zaire. Yes, sir. And then when he shut down Big George, man, the fight was over, man. The people was cheering. It started raining. That there was a definite sign from the ancestors.
Yeah,
a definite sign of the ancestors. Less than 2 minutes that he shut George down, it started raining. So that's from the ancestors, in my opinion. And my interpretation is, well, here's his praise. You know what I'm saying? He did it.
Yeah.
Got his crown back that was unjustly taken from him. You know what I mean? And what have you? You know,
too great and too great at it because George Foreman wasn't no you know.
Oh yeah, now here's the greatness of George Foreman, y'all. Now here's the greatness of George Foreman, Jay. Glad you brought it up. George Foreman is the oldest man to win the heavyweight championship. Yeah, George Foreman. That's his claim to greatness. He is the He is the oldest man to win the heavyweight championship when he took the title from Michael Moore.
Was it Michael Moore? Huh?
Yes, sir. It was Michael Moore. And Big George was back. You know what I'm saying? And then George went on and retired. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I ain't mad at Big George either. You know what I mean?
No,
I
he
ain't
was a
mad at
beast.
Big George either.
He was a beast.
Yeah, Foreman was a beast, man. You know what I'm saying? And Foreman could punch. Oh, could Foreman punch? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he punch. He like me today. Love the people and wanted our just do. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? Coach Ferg, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you there, Coach.
Let's bring him in.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, Coach Ferg, what's up?
What's up, fellas? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Coach?
Hey, how about yeah, I just come across y'all, man. I was just rolling through, man. I'm like ready to lay down for the night and just came across you and just heard the topic. You know, I'm always interested in hearing brothers speak about, you know, the ancestors and the greatness, that potential that we have. But you know, I'm always looking for cures, always looking to go to the ones who ain't got to the space we are, teach them and show them a better way. So I appreciate it, man. You know, just listening in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you kind of coming in and out, man. You
kind of choppy, though.
Yeah, a little choppy,
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, like I said, you know, just come across y'all, man. Just scroll through, you lay down for the night, and y'all had an interesting topic. So it's always, you know, I'm always interested in hearing brothers speak about how we can make it a better space for us, a better life for our children. Just, you know, for solutions. And I work with a lot of young adults, youth, and just trying to show them, like, you know, never give up, and just, you know, just be, you know, and it's just, you know, I'm a Gen Xer, man. I'm 56. I've been retired for 2 years, and you know,
that's what's up.
I've seen a lot. I've done a hell of a lot, you know, but you know, as men now, we can look back and, you know, hindsight is 20/20. But I think it takes a different type of person to sort of speak to the truth and who's willing to make the commitment to move better. You know, and we see in a lot of this space, people just be spitting all kind of bullshit out there. Shit and give, you know what I'm saying? And then they want to add their hand with bullshit, but you know, I just always believe that our power is greater than what is being displayed on this planet right now.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Absolutely.
sir. Because we are the original man and woman. You know what I'm saying? Everybody
Well, a
hates
lot.
us.
Listen, a lot of, and I say this from someone who's been involved on a grassroots level for years.
Okay, Jay.
A lot of our victories are not being shown. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the things that we are doing, you're not like, we can't, the mainstream media is not going to put our victories and our endeavors out there for people to see. Right. A lot of things that are happening in our communities, there are a lot of good things happening, and we do got to ramp it up. And that's part of what this process that we're doing now is. We're refining ourselves. We're defining, redefining, and refining ourselves. So even if the numbers ain't as big as we want them to be, as long as they're pure numbers and as long as they're people that's willing to put in that work and forge the way, and everybody doesn't have to do the same thing. Everybody got different roles, and that's okay. Being unified does not mean be uniform. Uniformity is different than being unified. We could be unified and have different roles that we, you know, different skills and different passions that we add on to the cause, man. And as long as we have the youth and listen, just like the generations before us didn't agree with everything we did, we ain't got to agree with everything that the people that the generation after us does, as long as they're going to figure it out.
Right.
They'll figure it out. As long as they got the right intentions and they have the tools that they need to execute what they're trying to do, they're going to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's just how I come.
I think what's going to help, you know, I'm just going to fast forward 10, 15, 20 years. I think that what's going to give I'll say if you were born today, 2024, I believe based off the way social media has came into play, it's going to benefit those young adults more than people who are already here in the groove right now, because this type of platform, they're going to be hearing voices from South Beach to Washington State.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The information will be able to be spread at the same time. Regardless of what time you're getting information in real time. And I think it's cloudy right now because a lot of people, you know, they're just expressing their hurt and their pain and the reasons why they ain't doing something. And they're creating new information for the ones who haven't gotten to that space. So hopefully they'll be able to take this stuff that we're talking about and all those people crying on YouTube about what somebody ain't did, use it to make a better way for themselves, because now they have a baseline. See, a lot of us, we didn't have a base. We only go by what history. And like you said, they didn't show us our best. They show the world our worst. But we know, and they know. That's why they can't let brothers tap into that full potential, because they know brothers will take over. We'll rule the world. And I just hope that before I pass, the younger generation see that and just tap into it, because it's going to take the men and women right now. They fighting against each other the most, which I don't understand.
I mean, listen, something that is available now that wasn't available years ago is the ability to be able to, use your hand and scroll on your phone or computer and get information that 50 years ago wasn't possible, 40 years ago wasn't possible. Like the early years of, like, even like in the 60s, if you couldn't get to a library, you couldn't get that information. You didn't have access to the same level of information to be able to put in play and to know the things that may inspire you or give you the right information to make the moves you want to make. We couldn't do that in the 60s and 70s. So yeah, these youth now, they could tap into information with their fingertips. They can see and hear people's perspective, like you said, from all over the country and the world. And that might just be the inspiration they need. That might just be enough to let them know that they're not alone. Somebody's thinking the same way they're thinking. Like if you were isolated in a small town, 20, 30, 40 years ago, you may not know that there's people out there that think like you, that you can network with and get some things done. You might not know that, hey, you know what? This idea that I had, there's somebody that's already built on that. I could use that platform, that blueprint, and add on to it. So yeah, I think these youth, they have resources that we didn't have. You know what I'm saying? As long as they're still inspired, as long as they know that people are still thinking progressively for us as a people, then they're gonna tap into that spirit. You know what I'm saying? Even when we pass, our spirit is still here. Our energy is still here.
Sir.
So we're still gonna be able to reincarnate, whether it's through our own bloodline or whether it's our energy being utilized by other people that are on that same frequency. That's going to push this thing forward, man. It's inevitable that we will win.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Without a doubt.
All right, Jay.
Hey Jay, I'm gonna put in, if it's all right with you, sir, I'm gonna put in my Twitter handle, man. You know what I'm saying? If it's all right. Is it all right? Jay.
Jay, you still with us? Sir?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I'm putting in.
Yeah, hey, put in whatever you want, man. You can put it. You can put it in the. You can put it wherever. You can share it on the screen. You can put it in the chat. You ain't even gotta ask, man.
Okay, thank you, Jay. Appreciate you, brother. And please get with us tomorrow morning if you can, man, if your schedule permits, because we're doing Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chays. You know what I'm saying? Okay, all Brother Che, you said you need me in the studio first thing tomorrow morning, correct?
Yeah, because I got a summit. In the morning. Me and Lady Che is going.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, when's that debate you got going?
In the coming weeks, so either next week or the week after.
Oh,
I got summits and forums all month.
Yeah, keep grinding that out, man. Keep grinding. Yeah, I can't wait to see you in front of that Capitol building, bro.
Yes.
Yes, sir. And you know, and he's got a momentum, Jay. You know what I'm saying? But you know, but his opposition, they're using dirty tactics against the brother only because they cannot stand the truth of what he is telling these brain dead individuals. And the more that he tells them, the better that I feel. You know what I mean?
New level, new devil.
Right.
So as you build up and
like
you get better and you get closer to your goal, there's going to be more resistance, man. That just means you're going the right way.
Absolutely.
It's like a video game. You play video games, you know you're going the right way when they're trying to kill you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So when they coming after you and attacking you, you know you're moving in the right direction and you know that you're a problem. That also means that you're strong and you got something that's worthy of them seeing as the adversary. So you just conquer that shit. You just learn to conquer that shit.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Che, in the morning, man, can you give me a wake up call in the morning, man? Because I know I'm an hour behind you, man, but I want to make sure I get in the studio, man, so we'll be on time.
Yeah, I'll call you about 8 my time.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Then that way there I could get the sleep out my eyes, man, go grab a cup of mud, man, and wake up and get ready to argue. Yeah, and then up there, man, and wait for old Sarge to come in, and then Jay, yeah, if you come in tomorrow, brother, anytime that Sarge is on there, sir, he just show no mercy on Sarge because he's a dump supporter. He thinks we're crazy. He's gonna sit up there and tell me we supposed to love the white man, and then he said that if it wasn't for the raping, slave trading pedophiles and his bloodline, he wouldn't exist. So that just goes to show you how fucked up in the head he is.
You missed the MAGA trolls earlier. Well, yeah, Jay had a bunch of MAGA trolls earlier. They was calling us niggas.
Oh, really?
And all kinds of shit. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Is that right? Okay. Yeah, we could have some of them bums call in tomorrow, man. We give them the business, man, because I'm about to go check on my Second Amendment rights, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because you witnessed it with me too, Brother Che. You know, they called up there, man, you dirty black nigga, you son of the eject button, boosh. You know what I'm saying? But like the referee says, protect yourself at all times.
Power tools, huh?
That's you know it. You know, the street sweepers, man, you know what I'm saying? And what have you. Yeah, protect yourself at all times because you see, black family, these idiots are coming. Now, this dumpster, if he loses, they're really going to be upset. If he wins, they're going to feel empowered. So like the referee says, protect yourself at all times. Now, Kamala Harris.
Oh, shit. Hold up.
Did it freeze up? Where everybody go?
You still there?
We can hear you. Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
All right.
Oh, yeah, that's the website. That's the newsletter.
I see Paris right there.
Shout out to Lady Che. That's the
newsletter. That's Paris giving the city council the business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that picture's
and
like
they
8
deserved
years old.
Wow. Okay. Okay, Jay, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, he just
okay. Yeah, okay. So I got communication. I just don't see the avatar, which is all good. Jesse Paris has a history. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. Unity Party leadership. Jesse has a history of political engagement. Okay.
There we go.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Jesse is a long-term resident and passionate advocate for the community, is officially announcing his candidacy for House District 8 with a robust background in politics and relentless commitment to public services. Jesse is ready to bring real changes to the district, which he will. And like I said, Jesse, if I could vote for you, man, I wish I could. You know what I mean? And what have you. But I'm out here in Nevada, you know. And by the way, Kamala is supposed to be here sometime today, so I'm going to find out where it is, so I'll be nowhere near there. Okay.
She was coming to Denver. I heard she was supposed to be in Denver today. It was now midnight.
Okay, Okay, so she's probably going to hit you guys early, but she's supposed to be here tomorrow in the evening. Then they're going to have the dump, as in human shit. And I want to make that perfectly clear.
So they going through they rolling through the same states. They battling right now.
Oh yeah, it's a nub out, Jay. It's a nub out, man. But don't get me wrong, I don't want the orange dude to win at all. Okay. But I'm of the opinion, man, when I go cast my vote, which is going to be for Kamala by default, because I can't vote for Jesse here, you know what I'm saying? You know, is because he's in Colorado. He's not on the ballot here in Nevada for the presidency. And if he was, or Cornel West was, then I'd vote for him. But they pulling some bullshit out here, man, because I'm familiarizing myself with these Nevada election laws. You know, California, glad to be far from it. Gavin Newsom, you belong in jail. You sitting up there talking about your trick ass gonna make a damn formal apology. What you need to do, your damn trick, is you need to go out there and cut the friggin' check in California. Oh, and by the way, Gavin Newsom, I don't have no respect for no man who's gonna go have an affair with the man's wife who was your campaign manager when you ran for mayor of San Francisco. Yeah, I said it, Governor Newsom. You can give me a call and let's argue about it.
And he vetoed those bills. He vetoed those bills.
Yeah, he did.
That was just going to set up an agency for our reparations. Just to get the genealogy right. The qualifications right on who qualified, because they was trying to make it a free fall. And we had to call in and make it lineage based. Newsom,
right now, be advised.
Mad dogging the hell out of Newsom. Don't give him no kind of love, or the Democrats for that matter. Because if they could do that in California, then you know the rest of the 49 states will follow suit.
Right. And then, you know, and then who was that there, Brother Paris, that somebody called up our podcast one morning, man, well, you people are never a slave. I don't see it. And then I says, and I muted her out, and I says, listen to me, you Barbie doll bimbo, okay? First place, the money that you tricks made, okay, off of us, you kept reinvesting it, parlaying it up all the way up till last night's closing of all your banks and all your stock markets and all that. But that initial investment came from our free labor. Then, not to mention, what you know good bastards don't want to mention, is the fact that the slave owner, he got paid from the feds for the slaves that he lost.
$300 per slave that was lost.
Yeah, and by today's standards, what that there would be, like about $3 grand, 30 grand?
At least, yeah. Something like that. I think
exactly. And so then they parlayed it up there too. This is why I appreciate what went down in Montgomery last year. You know, when a brother threw up the SOS sign with the hat. And then here come the hillbillies, and they beat the shit out the hillbillies. You know, they fought Jack Daniels, Old Granddad, Johnny Walker.
Why did the black MAGA supporter have the wherewithal to do that? Because I think they were.
Yeah, he probably was a tether, you know, going out there selling that shit. Man, is you crazy? You know what I'm saying? Is you nuts? You know, but I did see when they jumped on him, man, because they put two of them on him, but I think he got in a good right hand on one of them, man, toward the end of it. Yeah. But the brother got back up. He didn't have to get lifted back up. He got up under his own power. So that there, in my opinion, is a victory, well, within itself. You know what I'm saying?
There it is, and the then, feel free to add or take
right on, man. Okay, well, like I told you, Brother Che, you the co-executive producer, man. You see me make some mistakes in there and can make it better, brother. You, by all means, you got that. You know what I'm saying? And but call me in the morning, man, so I could be on deck, man, so I can go bum rush my coffee, man. And then, you know, I got to have my coffee because, you know, old crazy Sarge, he gonna get the business in the morning. I did speak with Dr. Bay, you know what I'm saying? She's coming along, you know what I mean? And what have you.
She's a writer.
Oh,
she's not a tether.
Yeah. She's a rider for real. You know what I mean? Yeah, she's a rider for real, you know? And then on top of it as well, too, dear white people, we don't hate you. We're just not your ass scratching, yassa bossing, brain dead slaves anymore. You want that shit? Go see Tim Scott. You want that shit? Go see Candace Owens. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. See, they don't speak for us. Tethers don't speak for us. And then, Brother Chad, I think I am getting the definition of tether more clear in my mind. You know what I mean?
I was finally sinking in, Shabaka.
Yeah, okay. And so, and I think this is the tethers, what I refer to as the neo-colonialists. Okay, as you know, when the French left, you know, they put their hand-picked puppets in there, and also too, Brother Jay. I know you hip to Brother Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso. Well, he had told the U.S. and the whole Western world, check this out, man. You take your gay flag, man, you go someplace else with it. We ain't having it here. Just like President Museveni of Uganda, the land of Idi Amin Dada. Nobody fool Big Daddy. Okay, President Museveni, he got approached. He got approached by the Biden administration. Hey, you got to raise the rainbow flag, or otherwise we'll take away your aid. President Museveni said, hey, Trick, check this out. This is chaos. We don't do this here. You can maybe go take this rainbow shit, man, and go shove it up your ass, man.
Yes, stand on business. Stand on business.
Yeah, straight business. And then he told him in 10 seconds, fool, you still here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he went out there with egg on his face, man. You know, but what it is, though, and I know you familiar with the irritated Jenny, Jay. Where
I've interviewed him a couple times.
Okay, yes, sir. And I spoke with him, man, a few months ago. You know what I'm saying? He's underground now. Okay. But he had the straight Black Pride movement. He had went up against governmental bodies at the city level, and I believe at the state level. I think the brother was out of D.C. Yeah. And he stated, you all is doing these experimentation on these frogs to make these men go after men, and this is a threat to our children and our very existence. So therefore, as I stated my disclaimer, you confused ass individuals have your human rights, you have your civil rights, but now you're not going to come up to me with the crack of your nasty, funky, stinking ass telling me it's a woman's womb. No. You will not disrespect the memories of my grandmother and my mama and all the women folk in our family with that bullshit, okay? You have human rights, you have your civil rights, but you ain't got no right to come up to me with the crack of your stinky, nasty, lice-infested, funky ass telling me it's a woman's womb. No. I don't get down like that. Okay, so on that day, gentlemen, okay, I'm gonna bid you all a good night. Okay, Brother Chad, I've been waiting before you call.
We're gonna wrap this whole thing up anyway. So, matter of fact, we're gonna wrap it up. But let's wrap it up right. Let's let everybody go ahead and get their little closing. First of all, let me thank y'all for pulling up. I appreciate that.
Oh yes, sir. Oh yes, sir. Like that, yes, sir. Man. Always, Jay. There's always. Okay,
go ahead and let's go ahead and shut it down properly, man. Let's go ahead and everybody can say their spiel and promote what they want to promote and all that good stuff.
Yes, sir. Okay, I'm gonna say this here. Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. Follow us on Blog Talk. Our Twitter handle is in the chat at Shabaka, capital EXP. We deal with the Black experience from the beginning of time to 10 minutes ago. Okay, we allow everybody to come on there, man. Those who get disrespectful, we have no problem pushing the eject button on them. And I appreciate y'all for having me on. Okay, I'm out. Okay, Jay, I'll talk to you in the morning, man.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Okay, Jay. All right. Okay, take care. All right.
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right. Chan Crewman Jesse Pierce, House Representative on the ballot for Colorado. Make sure y'all check us out in the morning for Grand Rising with Shabaka and the Chase, and Frontline Black News on Saturday night at 9 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Mountain, 11 p.m. Central, and 12 a.m. in the East. So appreciate you having me on, Jay.
Yeah, appreciate you pulling up.
Definitely gonna build.
Yes, sir. Coach, if you want to.
Yeah, I
right,
just want to do two things. Y'all appreciate y'all letting me come up, man. You know, when you speak about preparation, I'll always look at it like this. They can give an NBA player, a baseball player, or whatever athlete $30, $40, $50 million a year, and you can they can pretty much shut us up if they gave everybody just $1 million. And the way that I say you look at it, because you can go back to Social Security number. If your ancestors, and they can trace it all, how we all connect. You go back to that Social Security number, then the indoctrination of the Social Security number, then that's how you can tell. Basically, it can be a baseline for where you can say, okay, these people were here since the beginning, and we can just go from there. But you know, in this day and time now, I think it's very important for any of us to just use the information that is available now, provide that information to our younger, our children, and give them a greater expectation than us. Walk them through it when they have questions. Continue to be open to be better and learn, and just walk with a purpose and move with a purpose. Now, we all say we grown in this space, but I think those that get it will get it, and those that don't, I'll say it like I always say on every panel I go to, they will continue to be poor, their children will continue to be poor, and their children's children will continue to be poor. So other than that, man, listen, man, salute, man. I just happened to catch y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe to y'all. So next time I come up, man. But yeah, man, I'm always, life teaching those who may not have known or just a disadvantage, these same things that you all talked about today, man. So we are greater than who we stand at right now. And I just hope those that get it are not afraid to walk in the world as that. So appreciate you, man.
Hey, we can't save everybody. We got to be able to accept that, and that way we know we can just build with who we can. But I appreciate you pulling up, and hopefully you'll pull up again, and man, we can chop it up about some other topics.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Good night.
Appreciate it, sir. Yeah.